What do you want? I'm gonna kill you, you bastard!
It's the Juk. All you see is crooks. Shout out to Havoc, good looking on the beat. Forever P. Street life was good. About to go in, son. Look, red bones and red bottoms. Like Red Bull, we gon' give them wings, we red dot 'em. Candy rappers, send 'em in, we red hot 'em. Headshot 'em, go against my grain, get head problems. Big dummy, garbage rappers, we red fox 'em. Shoot an actor in high depth and red box 'em. Tip the scales in my favor, stay in your top 10. If life's like a triple beam, I'm weighing my options. Y'all like wild meth, you high meth. Keep a big popper, cause I ain't ready to die yet. I digress, or I'm just too intense to digest. Stretched in a Pyrex, compliments to my chef. Game ain't been the same since I left. Is they really crooks or just a pain in my neck? Wu-Tang, ain't no lanes in my set. Fresh pair of Nike Airs, I just do it for my check. I'll be the first to tell these rappers, get your bars up. Shout to P, you know it's havoc when we mob up. I tell that smut, date over, pull your drawers up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up. Throw your squad up. Throw your squad up. Throw your squad up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up.
I swoop in, shooting like I'm paratrooping. We all in, we riding, we carpooling. My whole crew, we diving, we platooning. Salute me or shoot me, Huey P. Newton. Your buffoonery is quite amusing. This is not monkey business, stop cooning. It's a method to my madness, I know what I'm doing. There's a
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
All right. I like to say Erev Tov and Shabbat Shalom to all the Hebrews that reside in Dimona, Israel, and Yasharulam. And I like to say Erev Tov and Shabbat Shalom to all the scattered Hebrews that are scattered throughout the nations. My name is Alan C., and I have next to me my Moray and Conrad, True Timothy. We are the guardians of the Torah, Yahweh only, DOA podcast, and we are now coming to you live on day 7 in stereo.
Stereo. Well, it's actually after day 7 now, but we always say that anyway, so the people can know what's going on. But you know, because people still got that that Sabbath day, Shabbat day, still got it. It's confused.
This is true.
Yeah. You know, like when it ends, especially the beginning of a brand new week, literally. You know,
right?
And for some reason, you know, obviously with the Gregorian calendar, it's still, you know, considered what they call it, Saturday.
Saturn Day.
Saturn Day.
Right.
Which is no connection beyond the fact that it shares somewhat, you know, in and out of the hours of the Shabbat. But that's just the way the heathen, you know, set up their days. But that has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the Shabbat whatsoever. No connection. You know what I mean? It doesn't change it. It doesn't rearrange it. None of it. As you can see the title, it says demonic action. Can we be under, well, I should say, can we be under the spirit of evil? And you know that answer. You know that answer. Evil is always lurking. It's always in the background and always in your mind if you let it get the best of you. That's why I always say, when we was talking about a couple of months back, do demons exist? And somebody would say, no, they don't exist. That Bible doesn't talk about demons, you know, such and such. Well, guess what? Guess what? Where does evil come from? You know? But then they'll turn around and say, well, evil is something that, you know, is brought on by your own thoughts. You know? Well, guess what? The Most High, right? He created all things, you know? So if that be the case, are you saying you're evil is your evil? You created it? Or is it something that the Most High created and you just taking a part in
Yeah,
it?
that's true.
You're like, who are you listening to? Who's in the background lurking?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually we have brother Eli Ben come on, but I don't know what's going on with him. He's been off a couple of weeks, you know. I know last week he hit me up saying that he had to do some work because today is not his actual official time frame we have because they're like 18 hours ahead of us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So he might be fully, back to work. You know, in Australia they have a little bit different anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
People have to understand that only in the USA things go, a certain pattern. And even in the USA, some people work around the clock. You could be a nurse, you could be a police, you could be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Depends on your occupation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is
But I
true.
do know me at the end of the week for me, which is Gregorian Friday, I'm off to Gregorian Moon Day, Monday, and loving it, loving it, loving it. I
Right.
get to I get the rest on my Shabbat. I also get the rest on the first day of the week. How about you?
Well, I mean, like I said many times before, um, I work for the school system that's in South Carolina, District Number 3, and I work Monday through Friday, and that is
Mhm,
6:30 in the morning to 3 in the
mhm,
afternoon, and then
mhm,
from 3 in the afternoon and on, I I'm free. So there are no weekends for me. Once upon a time, I had a second job working from 5 to 9, but I have so far released that job and I'm working one job. And even with that job, there were no weekends for me.
mhm,
So my job consisted only on the weekdays,
mhm,
and that's how I would have it. Now, when I was a younger man, you know, I used to work um, any days that they gave me. And that
mhm,
was more or less before I was spiritually awakened. I mean, within the Hebraic culture, I think there was even before I was in the Islamic culture years ago, before then, because then I told them I could not work on Fridays because,
mhm.
their day of worship was on Friday, which was considered what they call Juma, which what we call in our cultural belief the Shabbat, which is on day 7. So,
Yeah,
uh,
it always lines up. Like I've said many, many, many times, whether the other persuasions themselves consider the Shabbat like by name, as far as the title of it as Shabbat, they
right,
have the same formulation of it. I have to say, that's not just the Hebrews were the ones observing the Shabbat. You get what I'm saying?
right,
There's other nations
right,
that follow suit also. So
right.
I don't know why people get it misconstrued that doesn't make sense to them because they're used to the Hebrew. Let me let Smash an Idol on real quick.
Okay,
I haven't been hearing from him in a while too.
all
What's
right,
up, Smashing Idol?
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Shalom, shalom, brother Smash and Idol. All right,
Mm-hmm.
got the other half of our faction here. As
Mm-hmm.
all
I think
praises
it's for
due.
some reason his mic ain't working. He's going checking in, checking out.
Can you hear me?
Mm,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
hear
We
you.
can hear
We
you
are.
now.
Yeah. Shalom. How y'all been? Ak? How y'all been?
Oh, we're fine,
Man,
brother.
all right, man, all right.
Okay.
Hey,
You
y'all ain't hear. Y'all don't hear from me. That don't mean I don't hear from y'all.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The title of tonight's show is Demonic Actions. Can we be under? The word itself, demon, is
Hmm.
a noun. Now,
Mhm.
based on certain definitions, a demon can be an evil spirit, a devil, or a fiend. It can also be an evil passion or influence. It can be a person considered extremely wicked, evil, or cruel, or a person with great energy and drive. So there are many definitions when it comes to the word demon. I guess we are going to concentrate more or less on where it is considered an evil spirit, a devil, or a fiend. The word devil itself is based off of the other word, Satan or Satan, which means an adversary of the creator. So,
Well, let me pull up. Let me pull up. I got it on the screen anyway. Let me pull up this real quick. You know, this will
okay,
help out. Even though it's not what you call something in the biblical dictionary. Even though we don't have a biblical dictionary in
no,
reality, as far
right,
as the scriptures go. You get what I'm saying?
right,
But we have what you call equivalent to the meanings. You get what I mean?
right,
I'm just
right.
using Google. Just using Google. It says, "What
Right.
does being demonic mean?" Question mark.
Right.
Demonic is a word to describe behavior or people who are extremely evil or cruel. All right.
Right.
It helps to understand this word if you know a demon is a creature of hell. That's obviously something
Oh
that
God.
the it's called it capitalism, or however you say that
Uh-huh.
word, came up with. It's not really a word we can utilize from the biblical standpoint. I mean, at least not from the Hebrew heritage point of view. Now, when we talk about some of the New Testament
Right.
testimonies and all that, from the Christian side of things, they believe pretty much in that stuff. But we do not. It's not our Hebrew heritage. We don't believe in it. But anyway, demonic has that same kind of hellish, diabolical, fiendish. Remember, you said that word, fiend.
Right. Right.
Infernal, satanic, unholy quality. I agree with that. Unholy quality, because when you think about being unholy, it's the same as being uh, unrighteous. And
Correct.
being holy is being righteous. It's what we're supposed to do in order to, you know, be in agreement with the Most High. Let me say something. You got Sister Yashawan, Shalom family. All right, Shalom to you. All right, I see Brother Bakar. He says, Shalom, elders and family. Shalom to you, brother.
Shalom, shalom to our sister and brothers
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm. I have to
Israel.
say, welcome back. Welcome back. hmm Right.
Right.
Anyway, what I said, infernal, satanic, unholy quality. This word should not be used lightly, and it really shouldn't. It really
Oh,
shouldn't. I know a lot of people, like I said earlier, they don't like to acknowledge this particular word because it's not
yes.
really like found traditionally found.
Right.
I have to say it's found in most of like the regular compromised Bibles and whatnot. But like if you look it up in like a Hebrew type of heritage thing, you may have gray area on that word. It might say devil here, it might say demon there, but literally it's the evil spirits or whatever you could say bound up that intertwine with the mind.
Right.
All right. I
Um,
like the way I said that.
the 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 word evil, I think is based off of the Hebrew word ra, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
R
Well, slow it
A.
down. We might look that up too. But go
Right.
ahead.
I
Go ahead. Just
think
to make
that
sure
is
we get to look it up.
evil and um strong Hebrew. I think it's Ra. Could be wrong, could be right. Um the Hebrew word Ra, R-A-A, has multiple meanings, including evil or wicked. Is
What's the
strong
Strong's number? What's the Strong's number so I can pull it up?
7489.
7489.
Right.
All right.
Now that's just one, because remember, with the Hebrew word, it has multiple definitions, not just one. So that is just one of the words that mean evil. There's another one that's strong, Hebrews 8:8:8, to be evil or bad.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Let me get that one up first.
Okay.
You're not on the same.
I'm sorry, brother.
You gotta slow down. Gotta let the people see it too. You know what I'm saying? So they can have an understanding of it. Oh man, the mad scientist is in the house.
All
What's
right.
up? Eric Too Hard.
Peace.
Peace, brother
Mm-hmm.
Eric. What's going on?
I'm good.
But I think, like I said, the word evil itself comes from the Hebrew word ra.
All right, let me scroll it up
I
a little
think
bit.
it mean like bad or evil or something like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah, but the strong definition, 7451, it still is raw, but it's a root word from 7489.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the thing is, we all know from a biblical perspective that the Creator Himself, Yahweh, created evil. Now, some people say that why would that be? Because I believe, and this is just my belief, I'm not telling everybody to believe it, but I kind of use logic as far as when it comes to certain situations. I can't see us being in the world where everything is considered good, because there has to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? There's a yin and a yang, there's a negative and a positive. There has to be a balance. And also, I believe in the world that we live in, how could the Creator know your worth if He doesn't test you? I mean, everybody can be good if the Creator wills it to be. So there has to be evil.
Well, let
And
me spin off on that a little bit. Let me spin off on a little
okay,
bit of that before you go too
okay,
deep and too far into it.
okay,
Key word, and we've taught this plethora of times, and we've
right,
heard this plethora of times. Key word,
yeah,
free will.
will,
He gives
correct,
us free will. Guess what? Free will is called the opportunity to make a decision,
right,
choice. So obviously, some choose good, while others choose evil. You know, he
correct,
put them both out there. Don't get it misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? He put it
right,
out there, but we make the decision as far as on our mind stages of, free will, and some choose evil,
right.
and others choose the good.
I remember I had this conversation with somebody, and now I know that Sonetta tried to use this in a debate where he said that the Creator, or Yahweh or Yohe Wahe, created homosexuality. So that's a farce.
Yeah.
What happens is the Creator created passion and intimacy between a man and a woman. And what man has done has taken that and defiled it and turned it into something else. Okay. That is my answer for that. Because
Well,
if
let's slow it down. You missed the speed bagging. we gonna hit those topics. Definitely hit those topics, but
right,
let's don't what you call it, cloud it up with the mindset with those, because they hear that in the wrong fashion, and they say, "Well, what the hell are you talking about?"
right,
But good point. Good point.
right.
And I know. I think I seen that episode too, where Sonetta says that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but he didn't literally. He didn't literally. What you say? Create the evil portions, like say if a person's a homo. He
No,
didn't create that.
no,
He didn't
definitely
do that.
not.
He gave, like I said, free will makes you make a determination if you want to choose the dark side of things, or someone chooses I guess the light side of things. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's there, you know what I mean? And a
Because
lot of it is connected with your own iniquity. Because iniquity is it's always lurking too.
because
You know what I mean?
I believe that if the Creator has something to do with homosexuality, why in the instructions it says that man should not sleep with man?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
like I said,
Right.
he didn't necessarily create that portion of it as far as that
Right.
goes. This is something that's coming out of man's own mind or woman's own mind. You know what
Well,
I
yeah.
mean? So
Well,
one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna ever. I know Sonetta or somebody like that, he would put everything like the beans on the most high. Let me tell you something. That's because his mind is not like
yeah.
Hebraic. Hebraic thought don't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
doesn't
Well,
tell us that.
yeah. Because I made a video of it. He did that, and I was showing that when he was talking about as far as like making evil, I said just think about it like you having a child,
Right.
and your child become evil. You still created that child. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, and then when he's talking about homosexuality being evil, it's not evil, it's a sin. Meaning it's a disobedience to what God says not to do. So humans created what we call sin. He gave us free will, but we took that free will and sinned against him. So I always tell people you have free will to doom yourself also. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have free will, but understanding you have consequences to this free will when you do certain things.
Keyword consequences.
Yeah.
Let's take a pause for a second. Let me read what Sister Yasha Wan said. She says Isaiah 45:7. I guess this is in response to he created both good and evil. I form light and create darkness. I make well-being and create calamity. That key word, create calamity. Calamity is all around us, all the time. Things is not going right. What's the first thing our mind do? We start losing it. Start getting all wrapped up in, man, am I gonna be able to do this? Am I gonna be able to do that? You know, get all alarmed up and create calamity. I am the Lord who does all these things. So that was a perfect example using the Tanakh histories. You know, Isaiah 45:7. It's clear, 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 clear.
Right.
All right. Let me read something what Vikar says. All right. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The gallery is important too.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Gallery is important. People interpret punishment as evil when when it's a negative thing or adversary against their walk, knowing their walk is wicked. Yeah, that's a double-sided sword if you think about it. When
Right.
something is like to be like if you did something wrong and you seem to think that the punishment that you're getting from it, especially in society, is worse than the evil that you or the wrong that you've done. You know, people do interpret the punishment as evil. You know, because it's not to their taste, they're not to their liking. The results, like even Eric said, the consequences is a little bit harsh.
Right. I like to basically piggyback on what you just said, because some people do interpret punishment as punishment as evil, but the thing is, um, let's say hypothetically a man kills someone and he kills
Mhm.
someone's family member and he has to go to jail for so many years. Now, to me, him being punished by being incarcerated is not evil, it's justice,
Mhm.
because you've killed a human life, and based on our Torah laws, thou should not murder. Now, there are situations where people may get into where, they have no choice. Let's say someone has you cornered or whatever, and it's your life or his life, then that's something that you have to take up with the Most High as far as what you're going to do. But in retrospect, um, like you said, it's a double sword, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Well, we're definitely going to touch up on some of the current events and get into details too. So just to let you know, keep those words that we just said, keep it on the burner because we're going to be burning some bridges and we're going to be tearing down some situationals. Okay? All
right.
right. Now let's go back to that word raw from the strong 7489. And let's go to that.
Yes.
I think Smash Out said there's a root word also 7485. But we're going to look at a couple of these things
Okay.
specifically. But you made a good point. It is raw. Raw, how would he say it? Raw, whatever. It means afflict, Original word, obviously, phonetic spelling rawa. It means diminutive, be evil, bad, bad. Bad seed, bad. Giving us a couple of scriptures that we could pull up. Anybody want to pull some of them up and read them out? Be happy
Okay.
to follow it. All right.
Okay.
There's a lot of scriptures that got that in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, 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 very
Yeah, I remember
deep
years
word.
and years ago. I had noticed because the word raw, and I was like, wow. And then when I seen the word raw, they meant that, and yeah, I was dealing with Zan Lex was a friend of mine. Then he liked the junk, and then he turned around and used it on Jabari at one of the beats though. So yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when I found it, I was like, damn, well, I ain't found it, but when I ran across it, I was kind of like coming from like because I was based in Egyptian for a little while with Seti. I don't know if you ever heard of Sarasua Seti when he was out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little light
and
skinned
Funny
brother.
voice.
yeah,
Funny
but see,
voice.
I always worshiped the Most High. So when I found out he said he was a sun worshiper, that's what made me leave. I was like, hell no, I ain't worshiping no sun. You know what I'm saying? So when I was just coming out of there, and I seen the word Ra, I said, I wonder what Ra means in Hebrew, and I just looked it up, and it was like, damn, it means bad. In Hebrew. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Ah, um,
Mhm.
you were talking about looking up the word evil in scriptures.
Yeah. Hold on, let's smash it out because he got something on the screen too. Let me throw it
Okay,
up there real quick. And then we're gonna come back. We're gonna touch on this because we're having a discussion tonight anyway. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
And I'm gonna come back and talk about a flick and all that. So let Smash and Idol have the stage for a minute. Let
Oh
me
no,
take
I
a look.
didn't. No, I didn't want that. I was just preparing for if y'all needed scripture.
Okay. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I got
Well,
you.
go ahead, brother Allen. Go ahead.
Oh, I was basically going to give maybe a scripture or two that uses the word Ra, which is evil.
Hmm.
If you go to First Kings chapter 14, verse 9, um, it says, "You have done more than evil than all who lived before you. You have made for yourself other gods, idols made of metal. You've aroused my anger and turned your back on me." That's in
First
First
Kings
Kings
what? First
14,
Kings
14
14.
chapter and verse 9.
Then you can share my screen. I got it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, do me that favor because brother Allen, he heated tonight. I
Me?
gotta slow
No,
down. Let me catch
Yeah,
up, brother.
yeah. Brother Allen got something on his chest today.
no, just
Yeah. You matter of fact, since you on here, matter of fact, you should handle this smash it out because I'm trying to do this through screen, and Allen and speed all of this. You know. But go ahead. Go ahead. What would you that's 14, what verse?
that was First Kings
9.
chapter 14, verse 9.
All right. But hast done evil above all that were before thee. For thou hast gone and made thee other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Let's look at that in details and kind of get into the mindset of the harm, the damage that's
Okay.
done in that situation because it's very important too. Okay,
Okay.
obviously he's referring to to say the situation with Solomon's and sons or whatever. He's basically referring to how the house splitting. Okay,
Okay.
but has done evil, right, above all that were before thee, meaning like worse than those from the past. You know what I'm saying? Worse
Hmm.
than those that came up before. And what was the situation? They has gone and made the other gods. Other gods. Now,
Hmm.
First Kings is after the time frame of, we already had a law, or I should say the commandments. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And these turkeys, I have to say the ancestors, these turkeys, they went evil, right? And guess what they did? They made the other gods. And in molten images, it's basically like, you know, made them out of, I guess, like gold, silver, whatever you name it. You know what I'm saying? It could be concrete, it don't matter. They made
Right.
other gods, all right? To provoke me to anger, he's going to be angry when we think of other gods. When we have other gods before him, he's going to be, mad at us, period. All right? Since we're going to turn his back on us, literally. Look up that in the tools. Let's see if we can find something on that word evil. So from the Strongs. Evil. 87489. Hmm. Mhm. Goes back literally, inflected. Raw. There it goes again. To be bad, be evil. Evil. To be displeasing, to be sad, to be injurious, be evil, to be wicked, be evil. Ethically, we foul to do an injury or hurt, to do evil or wickedly, mischief, to break, shatter, to break, broken parts of to be broken. His bowl to be broken in pieces, be broken asunder. House also split, what? Asunder. Because guess what? Those of the innocent, that's still trying to follow the Most High, right? They're gonna be like, "What's going on here?" You don't want to like make the whole, house drop because of you. We know that many times in our history that has happened. You know what I mean? That has happened. This is why this kind of talk we're having right now goes with current events, and I'm very upset with the whole music industry, whole Hollywood, you know,
Right.
those people that I guess you end up listening to that influences you in some form of fashion, or whether it be by radio or some type of airplay or movies or et cetera, et cetera. These people that promote a lot of the wicked stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
Bad, 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 bad. And, these past few weeks we've been having a lot of them elements. I'm sure we all know the story. You know what I
Correct.
mean? And then some people like to defend the situation as, oh well, they say innocent until proven guilty. Well, that is great to think, but throughout the years, it just doesn't add up. Just doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doesn't add up. I mean, who would sit around and say, well, this guy has not been doing any of the evil things, and however he got involved with it, we talked about it last week. It,
Right.
it, it came from probably handed down to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which goes back to like say you talking about what Sanetta said. The most of well, he didn't actually. What you say? The Most High didn't do that. It's his own free will that causes that situation.
Yeah.
Like, what does he got highlighted up there? It says evil, Old English, Kentish evil, bad, vicious, ill, sick, sick, sickness, wicked. From Proto-Germanic, ubilize, Old Saxon. I'm just faking it. I don't understand half of them words. Pronounce it. But they look weird. In Old English and older Germanic languages other than Scandinavian, the word is the most comprehensive adjectival expression of disapproval, dislike, or disparagement. Right? I should say word distaste. Distasteful. Evil was the word the Anglo-Saxons used where we would use bad, correct, or cruel, unskillful. I don't know. I don't know how they can fit that in there. But defective, yeah, or harm, crime, misfortune, disease is definitely a disease. Think about Solomon and Gomorrah. Think about that. Most High was so upset with that he had to destroy it, basically, right?
Right.
All that evil and wickedness. And some people will say, well, You talking about the homosexual portion there? No, it wasn't just homosexual things going on. It was just plain wicked and evil things going on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But yes. Um, we was watching Senator a couple of times, and he likes to throw that out at us, like the Most High, he created this, he created that. Put most of the Hebrews on the spot that don't know how to really understand how to answer back to him,
Yeah.
and it looks good. You know what I mean?
Sinetta is a flip flopper anyway. What he likes to do is he does a lot of stuff for sensationalism,
Mm-hmm.
shock, shock
Yeah.
value,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the way he gets his ratings. Now, allegedly, he is dating, like I said, allegedly. Uh, what's her name? Nepal,
Mm-hmm.
Shada,
Oh no, yeah,
and
that's his second wave. So,
right. And well,
Second wife.
yeah.
right. I always say allegedly because I don't know how his second wife when he's not claiming to be a Hebrew or a Muslim.
Oh, I like the way you hit that off. I like the way you hit that off. You
Right,
see that how that worked? He must have
right,
been riding the Hebrew train,
right.
or it
Because
must have passed by him, and he said, "Well,
right,
let me grab a little bit of the handle there, because
right.
that's a Hebrew thing, right?"
It's a Hebrew thing. It's a Muslim thing. It's a Quaker thing. Um, it's what do you call those people um, that live like the Quakers? They're also
Amish and
into
all that
that.
stuff.
Right. They're that those belief systems deal with multiple wives.
But
But
those are what you call open and what you call something that wasn't just trending. It was something that was been going on. What he's
right,
doing, like I said, he just grabbing hold to something and saying, "Well, let me buy this." Just like I've seen him title
right,
himself up now, Elder.
right.
So now,
Because how can he be an elder when he always claims that he's not part of anything?
hmm
Like I said, he's not part of any of those cultural beliefs. So how do you have a second wife? Because if you have a second wife, you have to pledge yourself to a belief system. And I've never heard him say openly that he was a Hebrew. Now, allegedly, once again, I use the word allegedly, Nepal Shada is a Hebrew claiming to be, but she quotes out of the New Testament. So I'm assuming that she is a Messianic Israelite, but Messianic Israelites do not believe in polygyny. So
I
I'm
smell
trying to
Christianity. That's
understand.
what I smell. I don't know if
Right.
y'all smell
I
it. I
smell it
smell.
too, but I'm trying to be nice
Yeah,
about it.
she kind of studied she studied occultism too and mysticism.
hmm
Right. Because I hear a lot of stories about her being a witch.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
now, do I believe it? I don't know because I don't follow her. I don't she's not on my top 100 to read about. So I
I don't
mean,
believe she's a actual
She
witch.
studied like
I believe
she
that
just
she might
studied
study the occult.
yeah, she studied called like mysticism, esotericism,
right.
occultism. Yeah.
Because now I know in the Jewish faith they study Kabbalism and
The
things of that
Jewish,
nature.
Jewish.
Jewish, yeah, but that has nothing to
The
do.
wishful Jews, the wishful wannabes.
that
But
that has,
I can't see people. A lot of people don't know this, but I followed Sandler for a long time. He actually, for one day, was claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite. And
What?
really
yeah, when Cesariak and them first came in, they when Cesariak beat Polite, and now she had beat Sarah Sudnasetti, he got the arguing with the Amara squad, and all them said that we are Hebrew Israelites, we ain't no damn Africans, and then they got in his ear and they flipped him back to African to Pan African, and that's when he started coming at the Hebrews like that.
mm,
Question. Have you ever noted him, like I say it like that, noted him as ever claiming to be a Keturah centered Hebrew?
Well,
I know
he was on.
I know the answer has to be no.
Nah, he wasn't on there for long. He just was like, we Hebrews, and then they flipped him back. But he was a Nation of Islam before long. Like he was under Khalid Muhammad for a little while, so he was more of a Muslim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
funny thing that the claim of being Torah centered, or what you call Torah only, that's going to be very, 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 very difficult to find out in these plays. They don't want to take that. They don't want to take that ride though.
So my thing is, was Sinetta part of the NOI or the?
No, he was part of the Black Panthers.
Okay,
Under
because
Khalid Muhammad when he brought the Islam to it.
okay, because what happened is what a lot of people don't realize is that the Nation of Islam on the NOI and the gods and the earths at one point studied the same lessons.
Yeah.
The 5%ers, and most 5%ers eventually evolved into the Nation of Islam because the lost lessons were taught by Clarence 13X, who was part of NOI. He actually, and no disrespect to any earths or gods that are listening, he actually hijacked the lessons from the NOI.
Oh yeah.
And started teaching the children.
Got up under the umbrella, basically.
Right, umbrella.
Yeah, because I think if I'm mistaken, he's supposed to have been like under Malcolm or something.
He was under Malcolm.
Yeah, and then Malcolm didn't agree with it because that's when he started making the Allah's arm, leg, arm, head thing.
Right.
And he basically took to a lot larger teachings and created the 5%ers with it.
Right. I in my studies I have a book. Maybe one of these days I'll bring it down and we'll talk about it. And he has a lot of interesting information. You can tell it's admixed, but it's very fascinating. And he does the letters as far as breaking down the letters, like A for Allah, B for born, C for cipher, D for divine, E for equality. So he does a good job in breaking down the alphabetic system on using it as words that are righteous. They go into different how far the sun is away from people and the circumference of certain things. So very interesting information. One thing I like about the Nation of Islam that they do teach is they teach that the black man is God. Now, when they mean God, I think they mean literal God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
other than Farad Muhammad,
right. Now, the word God itself is basically mean one of power. It doesn't actually mean literal God, depending on how you use it in context, whether in religious perspective or non-religious. It just means power. The word God itself is a dramatic word. So, but I like that. Now, the Nation of Islam believes that Allah is a man. That is their belief. Right.
Yeah, Farad Muhammad.
Right. It says that on Master Farad Muhammad, correct?
Yeah,
it says that on the back of every Final Call magazine that you get, because I used to read their magazines. Because at the time I was a Sunni Muslim. That's kind of like the opposite, because we were taught as Sunni Muslims years ago that the NOI are a bunch of Shriners.
Yeah. I got a video. I just did a video with Kamish, and I just put that on here. He was showing how this is his claim, because he claims, and he showed proof that Elijah was a 33. They were Masons, and they infiltrated the Moorish temple, because
they did.
Elijah was actually under Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, until he died, and then he hijacked it and created the Nation of Islam from the Moorish temple. Yeah,
correct. Elijah Poole was a original Moorish Temple member. And then when Noble Drew Ali passed, like you said, he hijacked some of the lessons. And he claimed that the Allah came into a man and taught him, which was Farad Muhammad.
Farad was actually under the Moorish Temple too.
Right.
The record says, I see Sir Alan has been polishing his sword. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of this information is past information that's stored in the memory bank. When someone brings it up, it kind of comes back to me in fragments and increments. But I was like I said, I was part of the Sunni Muslim nation for many years, and we were always
Age,
taught.
experience, perfection.
Right. We were always taught that the NOI guys back in my day did not make salat, which means prayer. They did not use a Quran. They just basically did a lot of talking, wore bow ties, and sold bean pies.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect, current NOI. But I'm talking about back in the 80s.
Yeah, I used to know. I used to drive by them. Like I used to live out in the Jersey side, going to the East Oranges, and all you seen was the bow tie and the bean pie.
Right. So I'm trying to understand.
And it's respectful, and not knocking
Right.
it, in the newspaper.
If you notice, and like I said, this is no disrespect to the NOI. If you're a Muslim, in the Quran, it talks about not shaving your beard off. Why all of them sport a European Gentile look?
Yeah.
Why?
Permanent head and all that stuff too.
Right. They shave their beards off. You know what I'm saying? And
you gotta consider they're not claiming to be what you call under the Hebrew heritage as far as it goes. I mean, even though it should be a connection with the Hebrew heritage.
Yeah.
But, they have their own.
I mean, they're
persuasion
basically
within a persuasion.
They're basically supposed to be black nationalists, black supremacists teaching a religion to push black supremacy.
Right. Because if you notice in Malcolm's earlier speeches, he was talking separatism.
Yeah.
We need to separate. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want people to think that I'm a racist or supremacist, but we actually did better when we did separate from them than when we united with them. Because when we were separate, we had our own businesses, we had stores. We did better as a Nubian nation versus being together and unifying with Europeans who have overshadowed us for many centuries when it came to things. Before they existed, we existed. This was talked about and
that was real good.
Used.
I go for that myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't make you a racist for being wanting to be separated from a situation.
It's real, yeah.
Yeah.
And see, my mama told me, because I used to ask her about it, and she told me, she said, "Look, we didn't ask. She said people make it seem like we was asking to mix in with them." She said, "No, our schools were just beat down. Our books was old, and they had everything good. And we said we want the same as they got. And what they did was in our schools and made us go to their school. So it was not like they wanted to go over there. That's what they did because what they was demanding."
Right. A lot of people, and I hate to say this once again, no disrespect, were trying to follow the philosophies of Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, having his little white sons and little white children mixed with the black children. And, it's nothing wrong with working together. But like Malcolm said, we have to get ourselves together first before we can help anyone else. And that's something at one point we did do when we had Rosewood, when we had Black Wall Street and other different entities that we owned and was taken away from us based on evil intentions from, Europeans.
A lot of them middle class are turning into ghettos too.
That's why I said it about 3-4 weeks ago when we brought that up. I think Brother Eli was on there, and I was trying to say I'm not the one to try to teach discouragement, and at the same time, we have to soft step, but we shouldn't soft step the fact. I have to say it like that. The fact that we are supposed to be as a unit to try to better ourselves. Even if we just endorse everything of each other, to build a better us. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with
that.
And
see, I want to say this about Martin Luther King too, right? Because I'm gonna do a show soon. I'm working on it right now, maybe a day or two. It's called Black Agents. I'm gonna show that how Black Agents set up Marcus Garvey, the Black Panthers, and Malcolm X, and how a lot of them, how they use black people to go and infiltrate these groups and show us who the agent was and stuff. But when they get to Malcolm, right, they show the part where Martin Luther King was talking about the dream. But
Right.
they didn't. But they never showed his last speech. They didn't show that when after he met Malcolm X, he actually starts teaching separatism. He actually starts saying what we got to do for ourselves. And he made that speech called "I led my people to a burning house." So
Yes.
he felt like whatever we tried to do, it wasn't going to work, and we had to end up taking care of ourselves. But they pushed that Martin Luther King dream because they don't want people to believe and see that he actually changed his mind. Not saying that he's saying, "Oh, we can't work with it." He's just saying he started going with Malcolm, saying we got to take care of ourselves first because if we ain't nobody gonna do it. And that's what Martin Luther King was saying before he was assassinated.
Right.
And
I
you know,
remember.
and then I'm gonna show about how his brother mysteriously died after that, and they killed his mama in church. So I'm gonna get that. You
Wow.
know,
You
yeah.
got some
So
plans, buddy. You got some plans. Can't wait to see that.
yeah.
Can't wait
So
to see that. Bring
Right.
it out. Bring it out.
If you notice, every time we have a powerful black leader for our people, he is somehow either paid off, or he crosses over and become a Tom, or he's assassinated. And
yeah.
this is the reason why they do this, because they know as a black nation or Nubian nation, whatever word you want to use, we can be a powerful unit for each other.
That's
We
the
are
key
the
word.
original,
Powerful unit for
right.
each other.
We are the original builders. The first building or pyramid was by Amenhotep. He's the first creator of a building, and to this day, they still don't know how to make a pyramid.
Yeah.
You know, Imhotep made that building. He was the first black man, Egyptian.
Yeah, they try to tell you aliens did it.
Oh, the hell!
Hey,
Space
can I?
Cadet.
I don't even like using profanity, but I do. You know what I'm saying? He
Go ahead,
was the
go ahead,
first.
smashing that off so they can take it over.
Yeah.
Take the mic for a second.
No, I was just I was thinking about when we was talking about the 5%er thing and you know those type of things.
Yes.
And when y'all was talking about how they worship the sun and all of that stuff, like that's actually true. And let me pull this up real fast. Can we see this here? I am going to damn, where did it go? It's kind of big. Give me a second.
Okay.
Quick second. It kind of blew up on me. Let me see. I got to go and find it. But it was something in this little article that it definitely says that the 5%ers, they worship the sun, is like, and they call on like some man image or the universe or something. Give me a second. I apologize. I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Tonight is one of those nights where we gotta let's cut each other's off sometimes to get it in.
Yeah.
But I'm listening. I can hear you in the background. Somebody want to say something? Get forward.
Let's see.
Somebody else on. Who else? I can't really see.
You got Brother
Yeah,
Picard
yeah.
Emerson. He's on, and obviously, really just you, me, and Alan.
Oh, because it looked like it's 5 people on here. I can't really
Yeah.
see
Oh,
it.
because
I'm on the phone.
letting him share his screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad, bro. Y'all can go take it over until I oh wow. What's this? I see something about the Israelites. All right, I gotta save this. Interesting.
I see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read through this again.
Let me talk about. Let me show what. Meanwhile, you find that. But
Yeah.
Carr said, he says that's what the Pharaoh said about the bruise. Quote: "Let us deal with them cunning, least they join with our enemy. Yeah, that's in Exodus, basically, at the time frame of when King, Pharaohs took over after the Pharaoh that was with Joseph died. Said that they want to build us, terribly. It's like majority of the. I hate to say the word European because that's just not really being 100% because a lot of them are not really European. They're
Yeah,
a mixture of different nations. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Gentlemen, did I miss anything?
No.
Okay. I just found one of my research books when we were talking about the 5%ers.
Mm-hmm.
And this book is called Supreme Lessons of the Gods and Earth.
Show it. So I put it on the screen.
Okay, give me 1 minute. I'll
Mm-hmm.
put it on the screen. And it's compiled by a gentleman by the name of God Supreme Allah.
Wow. I've
Okay.
heard of that name. It's familiar.
Okay. I'm going to put on my camera. Okay. And this is the book. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay. This is one of the books that
Circle 7.
yeah. Now it's funny they use that, and the Moors use that.
Mm-hmm.
So coincidence or not, I don't know.
No. It's
Now what happened-
exactly word for word, hit for hit.
right.
On target.
So I remember when I was growing up in Queens, I used to go to Linden 192, and I would see the 5%ers gather in a cipher, like in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of the brothers did not know the daily mathematics, he caught a terrible beatdown.
Oh yeah, I can hear about that.
And if after he finished the beatdown, they would pick him up and dust him off and say, "Brother, you're gonna get it again if you don't know it tomorrow."
Mm.
Now, in this book, it says daily mathematics. Number one is knowledge. It's the foundation of everything in existence.
Oh, hey, before you go further, I just want to say one sentence. Guess who else do that?
Huh?
Guess who other groups do that?
Who?
Gangbangers.
Really?
If you don't know the lessons, if you don't know the lessons, they'll beat you up and
So-
your blood.
What they are actually doing is they are emulating the lessons of the gods and the earth.
Yeah.
The daily mathematics. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to go by the first statements. The daily mathematics. I'm not going to read the definitions. It's knowledge. Number one. Number two, wisdom. Number three, understanding. Number four, culture or freedom. Number five, power or refinement. Number six, equality. Number seven, God. Number eight, build or destroy. Number nine, born. Number 0, knowledge, add on, cipher. Peace, Master Supreme Allah, born righteous Allah. In order for one to know one must have this knowledge. Cipher is a circle consisting of 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, which is life. They also have something called 12 jewels of gods and earths. They have the supreme alphabet in this book. They have the 5 P's of power. Very interesting book. English C lesson 1 through 36. It's not a book of longevity as far as pages. They just have a lot of information. Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1, answers to student enrollment. They have a lot of interesting information. Lost Muslim lesson number 2. The book in actuality is only, to be honest, it's only, how many pages is this? I don't even think it's 30 pages. It doesn't have any.
Well, because you got to remember, it's always I call it a spin-off manuscript, literally, because
Right.
what they do is they go with like some actual source that's
Right.
like got it all, and then they they take what whatever
Right.
that they could use to formulate for their persuasion and
Right.
make it fit. Literally, because a lot of that stuff, even though I don't see too much about the mathematical side of things in the Torah, but a lot of
Right.
that stuff is Torah. You know what I mean? Like when you go back to Torah.
Right, it is.
You know what I mean? And they're just
I
saying with a
And so
spin-off
when
word.
you see a lot of mixture of that stuff like that too, it comes from masonry too, because that's
it
masonry
is.
do they
It
mix a
is.
lot of stuff up. Yeah,
Shriners.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My only reason for researching the lessons of the gods and the earths because I had a fascinating conversation with one, and we were talking, and I kind of held my own to a point, and then he went to different information regarding numbers and different information that I couldn't interpret or comprehend. So he said, "Man, you should be part of this," and I said, "No, brother." I said, "I consider myself a Hebrew, and I'm only talking to you in length because I'm very interested in what your belief is."
Yeah.
And
I
that
mean,
was it.
I would love to see. I mean, I know you said that book's small,
Right.
pamphlet's small. I would love to see what their how they define what you call evil or wicked or demonic. You know what I mean?
That would be interesting.
You know,
yeah,
I
Well,
I
know, I
remember.
know the Christian side of things they define it, but we know how
well, I,
crazy
I,
that can be.
I can tell you this: what they consider evil, they consider the white man evil.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
knew
they
and
you was
do.
gonna
They
say
consider the white man evil.
I had a debate with a Bible center before because like where I'm from, we call them prison teachers, right? Like they, I mean, because most of them come from prison, you know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
all they
that.
5%.
Facts.
Most Muslims too, they either come out of prison. So, I was sitting there debating with him, and he was telling me how Adam means AM and Eve means Eve and this and that, right? So I said, yeah, that sounds all good in the English, but I was like, what happens when you go into the Hebrew? So
Hmm.
it let me, and that's when I started understanding. When I tell people that what we call masonry today has an influence on the English translation of the Bible, people don't understand what I'm saying because they was like, man, it's older than the masonry, but people don't understand. That's why I teach the esotericism, I teach the occultism and show people what it is because that's all masonry is. That's all Satanism is. That's what a lot of the five percenters teach, and that's what a lot of the Muslims are teaching. Nation of Islam, they're teaching occultism. They're teaching mysticism. They're teaching esotericism. So when you
Yep.
see them going to the Bible and say, "Oh, this mean this and that mean that," and they're really breaking it down in the esoteric mysticism type form. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I get them all compiled together. And when we talking about the games, there was this one guy. He was in he was a gangster disciple. He said, man, one of the elders brought me in, and he told me how they got the King Larry and King David together and created that folk nation. He said the guy took me to the building where this meeting was at. And he said it was a building and nobody was there and it was empty. He was saying it was always empty. Now me knowing because I passed Mason building. If anybody passed Mason buildings all day, you know it's never nobody in the motherfucker. I don't know why it's always empty. You never see them coming out the building or going in the building. So
Hmm.
you just see the big symbol. So he was like, he basically found out that the people who sat down with them and made and helped them start the folk nation was a Mason. And that's where a lot of them lessons coming from when they doing them symbols and hand symbols. And see, I was teaching a lot. I tried to teach it on Facebook, but like I said, Facebook and TikTok directly. TikTok told me and said they would call the local authorities on me for talking about because I started talking about how gangs and the certain people had gangs and Masons, all of them and the Satanists all doing hand symbols and how it's connected. Because if my cousin was in a what you call a gang, right? He was showing me one of his crews in California. He was Crips. I
Okay.
look at all their shirt, they had Mason symbols on their shirt, right? So I
Oh
said, what the
wow.
fuck? I said they Masons. So my first Hebrew teacher ever was a Mason. He was a Hebrew Mason, if that makes sense. But he said that you could be anything. You can be anything you want to be as a Mason. You can be any religion. So if I'm a gangbanger in a religion, you're a police officer in a religion, you're a judge in a religion. So that mean y'all go to the altar, go to the same building, and then when y'all leave out, y'all don't like each other. I don't. That's what was kind of confusing to me. So that's when I
No,
started speaking of.
you know what it
Yeah.
is, because I and what you're saying is 100% absolutely correct.
Yep.
When you are a Mason, based on what I was told, I could be a guy that works at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You could be a guy that's a billionaire. When we are together, we are still brothers. We're Masonic brothers.
Yeah.
And jobs and titles don't separate us. You go to different levels. The only thing separates are the levels of degrees you get as a Mason. So this is why if I am stopped in a car doing 100 miles an hour, and you are a cop, and you are a Mason, and I am a Mason, I will do a certain symbol or hand gesture with my hands.
Yeah.
If you are following the Masonic rules, you will let me go, because we're all the same, and this is what they believe in. The only thing I
Can't
don't.
tell you can't tell a token Masonic brother that though.
Well, this is what I was told as far as my dad is well, he never reveals himself. He's old school. He was a Mason. I found out through his sister, which is my aunt. My father has never got a ticket in his whole life. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been stopped. And I remember as a child being stopped, and he spoke to the guy, and he got back in the car. And my mom, her name is Betty, she says, "What's going on, Roosevelt?" I said, "Don't worry, Betty, everything's all right." And I remember that as a child. That's what I'm saying. And I always wondered, how can a man never get a ticket because he was a Mason? And see, we lived in Brooklyn at that time. So, they were all out there. My father was part of the CB club, the softball club. He was a Mason. He was part of the community because we lived in Brownsville over there on Sutter Avenue. And Masons were a big thing back then. I don't know about European, but I know he was part of, the Masons. It was nothing but black men, males. So they're, like I said, there is no level. And you're right, Eric, there are Hebrew Masons, but as Israelites, we're not supposed to be part of any other belief system because it's
That's why I call them token Masons.
Right.
They don't know no better.
Right.
You can try to tell them the truth and teach them everything that that would help them out, and they would turn around and say, "Well, no, it's not like this. It's not like
Right.
that." I said, "Well, deep down and deeply, you are token Mason. You only no. It's not to knock them. It's just that if you're not at a certain, I guess, how would I say it, influence of the bigger picture, you're gonna be put into that side of things. You're gonna be the one that just keep it spreading, but you're not gonna go no further than where you're at. You know what I mean? You're gonna lack the actual. You're not gonna know everything that you need to know. Just gonna know just about.
Yeah. And that's just something that, like I said, you definitely hit on a lot of stuff, Eric. And I remember when I was working at another school, and this Christian guy came up to me, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm recruiting Masons for my church." He said, "You want to be part of it?" I said, "I'm a Jew, man." He's like, "Oh, okay," and he walked away. Once I said I was a Jew, he's like, "Okay, brother."
Man, I got into that jump so deep, right, that I had Grandmaster Masons coming on my post.
I think you lost signal.
Right.
Eric. Say that again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, it's like they're trying to shut him or something. So look, like every time I try to talk, they cut me off. So I had put on a post and I was like, how could you be black leaders and y'all Masons, and when y'all can't tell the truth of what y'all learn, right? So I was getting them so mad that one of them called me on the phone, There's a guy from around here. He was like, he started trying to distract me. He talking about how Superman is inky and all that stuff. I said, okay, that's cool. I said, that's cool, right? So
yeah, I think
He's cut out again.
Cut out again. Like Smashing Adam says, I think a lot of Christian pastors are Masons and have financial benefits as long as they preach what's on the agenda. Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You had went out.
man, that's crazy. And so when he called me, I asked him this. I said, let me ask you a question. I said, are you a Christian? He said, yes. I said, when you go into, do you believe Jesus died for your sins? He said, yes. I said, when you go into that Masonic temple, do you believe that? He said, no. I said, now that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where I was getting threatened by the nation. Islam talking about cutting my tongue out because I would talk about. I would tell
That's what I say. That's what I say.
Yeah.
You was being wicked.
Yeah.
Before you said that.
Yeah, I had gang members trying to come at me because I was exposing all of them how they hand symbols and all that stuff. A lot of that stuff was all connected, and a lot of people ain't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it got real. It gets real deep, and then Facebook got and said my life could be threatened. And they told me I keep doing it, they gonna restrict my junk. And I try to put it on TikTok, and they said we would call the authorities. You put this post up again.
Who said that?
Facebook. When I started putting up the hand symbols or how everybody connected to the police, to the gangs, and all that. Yeah, Facebook put a junk up and said your life could be in danger, and if you keep posting this, we're gonna erase your account. Then I went to.
I think they keep pulling your plug now.
Wow.
When I went on TikTok, they said we could call the local authorities if you put this post up. I don't know what's going on. They keep cutting my phone out. They about to.
I don't know, man. I don't want to be shadow banned, man.
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't gonna shadow ban us tonight. Nah, we said some deep shit. They ain't gonna shadow ban. They want to hear what the hell's going on. I think Eric got to charge his phone up better than that. They ain't cut them off. They want to hear. They say, listen. They say, man, what the hell is this man talking about?
Yeah, because I put a joke on when I went on the last day, and I was talking about UK Ultra and how Whitey. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Whitey Balder, right?
Who?
Whitey Balder. Well, he was a mafia boss in Boston.
Okay.
But when he went to Alcatraz, he was in UK Ultra, and they put him under UK Ultra. And after he left UK Ultra, he became the Don in Boston. And he said after UK Ultra, he started killing people, and he all of a sudden became the Don of Boston. He started talking about how UK Ultra helped him get to that, and it was a brainwashing thing. So I started breaking that down, and I got into the major Illuminati elite stuff, and they would not post the line. That's the only video you can't find on the line. Yeah, so they be doing weird stuff.
So they scrubbed your post?
Yeah, they took it. They took it away. They wanted to post. They took the whole video. Like, you haven't talked to Kareem and asked about it. They took the whole. They couldn't even show it on YouTube.
Wow, that's crazy. You trying to break down information for viewers.
Yeah.
They scrub your whole post.
Yeah, that's why I stopped talking about it for a long time. I used to be deep into this stuff. I fell back because they kept putting me in jail for 90 days in Facebook jail, and
oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm gonna tell you what I did, and nothing never happened to me. People used to dare me to put stuff up, so I found a picture of a muscle-bound black naked man hanging.
Whoa, that's crazy. Oh yeah. I had that post.
And I put it on my post for a week, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
I don't give a you know what. I said, Facebook ain't gonna do nothing. I put that post up with the black naked man hanging a Ku Klux Klansman. No, nothing never happened. Nothing.
Yeah. It's always somebody who reported though.
They probably reported, but they never put me in Facebook jail.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the time, like you got to remember, we would think that it's like one way on FB or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever. It's usually not. What it is you have your local person that just don't like what you posted, and he said, "I'm gonna tell."
Right.
I'm gonna report it,
Right.
and he makes it more worse than it is. And obviously, you know, Facebook or whatever, they react to it. You know what I mean? A couple
Right.
of weeks go by, or I'm saying weeks, a couple of days go by after, if you check into it, they usually say, well, no, it's not really affecting the community. You let it ride back up. But
Right.
when you have that, it's usually some individual that you heard it or you heard her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got offended. That's all.
Dog hollow.
Right.
hmm
I'm very
You hit
careful.
that rough spot on them, and they react.
Right. I'm very careful when I get into conversation because because I'm on a bunch of multiple pages when it comes to debate, boxing, basketball,
hmm
and we talk about situations. And I was on a page that was talking about gay people, and I was very careful to use the word pansexual or omnisexual. I never used the F word, you know, GGOT. Never used that word. I never used the GAY word.
I
I
use the
always said,
GEY,
yeah,
GEH.
I never said it. So I basically said that as a black male, I'm very tired that we have to be subservient to the LGBTQ nation. They get upset over everything, and it's not fair. Why? They're not a race. They're not their own entity. They're just a bunch of people that live an alternate lifestyle. So why must we submit to their
Question,
beliefs?
Yeah.
question from the Hebrew side of things. What do you think the Most High would say to them if they was to try that shit?
Oh, well, that's the Most High. We wiped them out.
All right, then. He wouldn't
Right.
give him no break. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's considered an abomination. And guess what? If something is considered abomination, like to that point that it's a
Right.
part of your heritage that you go by, that you can actually credibly look it up and say, well, this is what this says in my system of belief. Guess
Right.
what? Then if someone turns around and says, well, you're being very bad,
Hypocritical.
critical to them, and it's wrong, then you turn around and say, well, I'm only doing it because that's what my heritage teaches. Okay.
Right. Well,
And then
for me, I didn't mean to cut you off. For me, when I go to these different pages, I don't even reveal who I am. I just go on as an individual, and I want to see what they're going to say to me. I never say I'm a Hebrew Israelite or I'm a Hebrew, and because the Torah said, I just go and speak as an open-minded liberal and see what they're going to say. And
right. You can
that's just
be
me.
you can be a liberal and still be, have some type of somewhere you can come back to. Even though a liberal, you would say, well, they don't believe in the good old book. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Well, this is what I say. This is what I tell them. This is what I say to them, and no one can really answer the question. I said, why do people of the pansexual lifestyle try to emulate still a classic lifestyle of a man and a woman? I said, regardless of your style of living, which is alternate, you still have to reform to one has to be the beta female and one has to be the alpha male. So you're still emulating
It
the
depends on
classic,
who's running things, brother. Depends
right?
on who's running
But
things. Who's
but
running
my
who's running the world right now? Be honest.
what? Who runs the world? European.
hmm
You know
Oh,
what
why
I'm saying?
you gotta say that? Why you gotta say that? Come on now. I'm not listen, let's don't pick on the European all the time. Let's give them
Right.
a break. When I say who runs the world, meaning you
You mean
supposed
who
to catch
runs the
on.
world as far as the Most High?
No, I'm not. He's supposed to,
You
Right.
talking about
but
the country?
yeah, who runs the country? Like literally, be honest, and don't just say the Jews. Don't say that either.
The Bidenberg group.
Well, I'm gonna say this: is they gay? Huh?
I don't know. They're very secretive.
So you trying to tell me they ain't come out the closet yet?
Listen, you have powerful pansexual individuals. I don't know. The Bilderberg
If you
Group
if
is
you,
a
if
bunch
you
of powerful elite men that have a meeting every year, secretive, about the politics, different agendas for the world. They run.
Oh,
And Congress. I forgot
you
Congress.
talking about Bilderberg?
Huh?
Bill, you talking about Bilderberg?
Bilderberg. I said Bidenberg. Bilderberg. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
they run.
either way, let's
yeah.
think about that. Let's think about that. In the industry, we should say the ones that
Oh, you
influence
mean in the industry as far as what? What music or what?
music, Hollywood, basically anything influential.
Now
I
you
mean,
know, like
I know who some people try to say. I say from me study, I say the Satanists are the strongest group right now, as far as like influence.
Well, think
Now,
about it. If the
as
Satanists
far as
would
running
probably
it,
we probably would be right because the Satanists we have a culmination of all of them packaged in one form.
yeah.
So we can't just say it's the Satanists because we got many different varieties of them. But I'm saying like literally, I'm being honest. I think it's the LGB, whatever you want to say.
Most definitely.
LBGTQ.
Yeah,
They run a great
I wasn't trying to say it, but you say it.
right. I mean, they run a great percentage of it, but they do not run the entirety of the industry. The industry is ran by the Jays. You know that,
Yeah. As far as power, but I'm saying
right?
influence. I say Satan is more
Well,
like
I would
influence.
say that
That
too.
fits in with Satanism. When
I
you say the Jays,
I
when you say the
believe
Jays,
what
that's
Eric said.
Satanism.
Yeah,
But I'm
true
just
that,
saying.
true
Eric
that.
is right on that.
But
Right.
when you're saying that the majority, the greater, what I'm saying is the same thing. What I'm asking, isn't it those don't say it in
Oh
that way.
yeah. You can't even talk about them. Yeah,
Well, the pansexual nation.
yeah.
Oh God,
I'm
get
using.
this man some tape. Get some duct tape, Alan. Damn.
I'm
I
being
would rather
honest.
you say queer.
Right.
Swine.
When you can come when you can have a bill passed or have a law passed almost, I think it's passed, where they can change what bathrooms, what names are on the bathroom. You got to be a powerful bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're getting to the point where most bathrooms are unisex. It's not all bathrooms, but a great deal of bathrooms now are unisex, and that's because of them. Because
See,
they
look at a job.
told about it.
Look at a job application. They ask you what you want to be now. Is you a it, he, her,
Right,
maybe?
right.
If you an
I
X.
was looking at one of the obviously Diddy is still in the limelight right now with everything going on. And
Right.
somebody actually said something on one of the forums about that community, that community, the pansexual side, and they got all highly offended. No. Anybody can be. You don't have to just be them, dude. There's the ones that's the problem. Stop hiding the fact that the man dealt with other men. Okay, stop
Right.
hiding that other men dealt with him. Stop hiding that because that's the actual problem. All right,
Yeah,
that's the
Right.
next
actual
Quincy
problem.
Jones.
Mhm.
Next Quincy Jones.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what it is? They are afraid to say anything because of the power this man wields. Even behind being incarcerated, this man probably still is pulling strings.
Oh, yeah,
Allegedly. Allegedly.
he got actual proof that they were
Yeah.
down on it. Or down.
He might. Hopefully they don't Epstein him.
I don't
So
know.
No,
I don't know.
hopefully he don't find it. Hopefully he don't accidentally hang himself in jail.
I don't know.
I don't believe that he will do that. Like I was saying last week, I think him being on suicide watch is strictly strategic.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think he's
That's why I said accidentally.
right. He is trying to build a case of insanity
Yeah.
so he can be released to a what is it called? Sanitarian. Um
Cuckoo barn.
right. Place where it is considered a jail, but it's more loose as far as you can move around.
Yeah.
You can
I just
even
think I just think that he should be allowed to expose the others that were involved. And I ain't talking about like saying like others involved in like leadership. I'm saying expose everybody that was a part of that shit. I want to know what such and such doing it too. I want to know such and such doing it too. I want to know, you know what I'm saying? I want it all to come out.
But see,
Well,
they know it's going to destroy the whole industry. They know it's going to destroy
right.
everything.
I'll be honest. I'm going to see it all. I want to see
I
it
don't
all
think
come out.
I don't think he'll do that, but I do believe, which I don't
I
think
hope
he'll
he
do
do.
it now because it's federal.
If he has to go to that burner, he gonna have to do it. Let me tell you
Right.
something.
He will. I think he'll do like what's his name? The gangster in what was that movie that Denzel Washington played in? As a
Training Day.
no, as the
American Gangster,
American Gangster.
Frank
Right.
Lucas.
Frank Lucas. I believe he would drop some names if a deal was set. I believe he
Nah,
would.
I don't think he needed any deals. I think he just needs to say, you know what, like old classic Diddy. Fuck this shit, man. I'm the diddler. I'm gonna name all y'all. The hell with that. I'm in here. Y'all come be in here too.
Nah.
It ain't even about y'all being in here. Y'all was down with the shit.
He, like I said, I don't think he would destroy careers because what happened, let's say he gets out, he's going to look for a lot of favors and pardons for those who he didn't drop dime on.
Let me tell you something. If he gets out, right, which is a very, very, very slim, I mean, you can you best believe he probably not gonna get out. But I'm gonna tell you something. If he does get out and he doesn't let out that shit about the rest of them,
Right.
he might as well take his ass back in. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I want to hear the dirt, the grime. I want to know names. Okay.
When I mean get out, I don't mean
Speak
get
the
out
truth,
like
Diddy.
soon.
Remember, I'm down with the Wendy Williams. I'm gonna stand with Wendy Williams. She said it back in the days. I want it to come out today.
Nah, he's like I said, he's gonna get out. But when I mean get out, I'm talking about maybe 15 to 20 some years. Because here's the thing, you know, it's
That's too long.
serious.
That's too long.
But you know it's serious.
I need
With
to
this
hit
guy,
now.
he put up. But do you know what he put up? He put up $50 million. He put up his jet, and he said he would be on home arrest. And he gave him his passport. They still didn't give him bail.
You gotta
So this
consider.
is how serious the case
You
is.
gotta consider. You gotta consider, Alan. He would be wanting to do that like any of us if we was in that situation to want to do that. So that ain't really nothing that's like out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be in that can. You know,
Right.
When you're in that can, you're not the person that you was the day before. So
Oh,
that ain't the
definitely.
problem. I don't let that fool me. What I would like to see though, I want names of participants. That's all I want. He don't have to do the time. Let the names of participants
He-
come
Well,
out
see,
so the fame and fortune can go away.
But see,
So
it matters to me. It matters who he got proof of, because if you have the wrong people that got the power, what they doing, they probably keeping them in there, and they probably raiding his stuff and trying to find the information so they can take it before he can put it out, and that's his leverage. And I think the only way he can get out to me is to hold it and say, man, if y'all don't let me out, I'm exposing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that could actually be a leverage, but at the same time, like I said, while he in there, he's in danger, because if them people in power, they don't want that stuff out. That's why it happened to Epstein, because I don't know if he had them type of people, but Epstein, they say he had people like the Prince of England and
Oh
stuff
wow.
like that. You're not gonna make that. You're not gonna put that out. You're gonna be done before they even get out.
let's look at it this. Let's look at it this way. What's the guy name from Arista Records that started it all?
Clyde Davis.
Clive
Yeah,
Davis. You
yeah.
think Clive Davis cares about being gay?
Nah.
Well, he
He don't know who Diddy is.
he claims that he doesn't know Diddy.
He don't know.
Diddy is under Arista.
Who is that?
Yeah, he don't even know him, even when he's the one who gave him a deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
What about? Let me say something. What about? I'm gonna just pick a random. I don't know if y'all agree with me. You think Will Smith is part of this shit?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Without all the evidence, without all of the names, you don't.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about? Let's say Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Yes.
You know
Questionable.
why? Do you want to know why I believe Kevin Hart is part of it? Because Kevin Hart said on a show one time when Chappelle said he would never wear a dress, Kevin Hart said,
What you lad?
I'm my own brand. No one can make me wear a dress, and I wouldn't wear a dress. Then he turns around and he's on Saturday Night Live, and what does he have on? A dress.
Dancing, dancing,
Dave
dancing.
Chappelle had a dress on too, you know. So
Right. On half baked.
no, on Robin Hood, Men in Tights. And he did a show with Howard Stern where he actually had the dress on with the breast and the lipstick on.
Oh,
I ain't see that.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
But
that's why I
think-
go deep.
I don't think
deep into
he's-
these people. Once people start looking at these people like they some type of revolutionary, I go like, so they did Kanye. I broke Kanye down. So it's like, a lot of most of man, I'm gonna say 80 to 90% of them people in the industry is in it. They might be at a lower level, at a high. Even I told people Polite was in the Polite when he did that party when he had the girl on that dog leash. That was his invitation going into that place. So he just ended up slipping doing that you know he wasn't all the way in. You know what I'm saying? When yeah.
So I know what you're saying, and you're looking at it from the fiendish point of view. I have no, fiendishism is bad. You know what I'm saying when it comes down to that. But I'm really interested in finding out all the ones that are gay particulars.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? The gay particulars.
I mean, I think they did stuff. I think they did gay stuff to get in. So I guess
Wait. Say that again. You think they did what?
Gay stuff, like as far as
To get in.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that they. I mean, because I know regular people on the street.
Oh, they done muted them. Oh man.
Man, I know that. I don't talk to regular people on the street and said that they would do certain things. I can't say too much, but they would do certain things for $1 million. So I can't imagine when people actually facing somebody and say, "Hey, you want this $1 million? You want this $10 million? You gotta do is bend over." I'm telling you, 70-80% of the guys are gonna do
it. Oh, well, we already.
I got a big one. I know y'all ain't gonna all agree with this one. What about Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Man,
That's a hard one.
God,
yeah. I mean, because I don't think all of them have to do the I don't
seen them old pictures of them.
I don't think all of them had to do the act. I think some of them do sacrifices, some of them do the gay acts. I think it's different ways to get in.
Nah. We're not gonna play that sacrifice thing. We're gonna say the thing, the real thing. If you went down on another man and you a man, or you let another man stick his sauces in your behind, I don't care. That's okay.
I mean, people they do sacrifice too. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now don't mean they didn't do the gay act, but you to get this, it's always something you got to do. It's never just that one time. It's that, and then you might got to do this to get to this level. You might got to do this to get. So imagine at the level Jay-Z is at, the stuff he had to do.
But you got to remember, was he at that level at the beginning?
No.
Huh?
He dick Dame Dash. I mean, pause. He ain't dick Dame Dash, but he beat Dame Dash out his money. That's how he got to that level. He took everything, he sold everything, and made Dame Dash broke. And then that's how he got, because Jay-Z was actually bankrupt when he first was rapping. People don't know he was bankrupt, and then he ended up selling Rockefeller behind Dame Dash's back and took all the artists from him, and that's how Dame Dash failed.
Right. When they made the split. You're talking about the split, right. A lot of people don't know that Jay-Z, and I think I spoke about this, Jay-Z has been out since the 80s.
Yeah.
He was under a brother named Jazzo.
Yeah, he was out when he was corny. I get it.
Right. Well, he was back then.
Still corny in reality if you really listen to his lyrics. He
was a
still
speed
corny.
rapper. and Big Daddy Kane tried to get him signed. Nobody wanted to sign him. So he turned around and got his own money. Him and Dane got together. Like I spoke about this, I think, last week, and they started Rockefeller.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if it wasn't for Biggie or Tupac, if they didn't leave, as far as their demise, he probably would have been just an average rapper. Jay-Z.
Now, did you hear what you heard what Big Puffy Bodyguard said about the Tupac and Biggie thing, right?
That Puffy had something to do with it.
Yeah, it was now. Everything this man said was coming to fruition. Even
Yo,
the mayor,
G
even that mayor
is the man.
of New York, yeah, even that mayor of New York, he said that he part of the Puffy thing. But he said basically what happened is because I was a Tupac fan, so when
Right.
Tupac came out, right, Tupac found out that Puffy was like this. Now Biggie supposed to have signed with Tupac. Biggie wasn't making no money with Puff Daddy. Tupac
Yeah,
was the
he wasn't.
star in New York, so he was going to sign with Thug Life. Puffy found out he went to Jimmy Henchman. And let me say allegedly, well, I ain't got no money to sue me anyway, but allegedly he went to he went to Jimmy Henchman, and that's when they set Tupac up. You know what I'm saying? And then Tupac went to prison, and he heard about the setup, and they was using his name to get popularity. So when he got out, he went to the West Coast. So what happened? So when Suge Knight was pressing him with Suge Knight and Tupac was pressing him, he went to Gene, and he said, "I can't keep doing this. This man is messing up my business." He said, "So I don't care if Tupac have to die, I don't care if Biggie have to die, and I don't care if Suge Knight have to go to jail." And that's exactly all three things that happened.
Right. Because
Wow.
So question. All right. Do you think that, and Alan can answer this, do you think that Diddy was like already like this before he got into the influential music business? Or
well,
he was,
What you mean as far as gay?
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
this is my belief. I believe that he was always a bisexual man. I don't think he
yeah,
was
Mm,
as flamboyant with it because the thing is, no one can make you bisexual unless you want to be.
yeah,
That is something that is within. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell
she
me
ain't leaving them no options. That's what you doing. You
no,
ain't leaving them
no,
no options.
no, because if somebody told me right now, I'll give you $1 million to do something that is beyond what I would do based on my morals, I would say no. Niggas be like, oh, yes, no, it wouldn't.
Right.
You
Because I
know, he's not really shameful of that actions that he's taking as far as that part of it. You know that, right?
right. Well, it's the reason why he's not shameful now is because he's a billionaire and it doesn't matter. But back
yeah,
in the days, this was like a rule. Rule number one, you don't talk about you being gay or pansexual. You don't
yeah,
talk about it.
Mm.
But I mean, he's flamboyant with it now because he's a billionaire and he never thought he would be in a situation where he's incarcerated. He
yeah.
thought
But
he was the king. He thought he was the literal king of New York.
go back to Clive Davis. This point
Right.
of Clive Davis. Do you think he ever really considered himself about being
Clyde
obvious?
Davis, in my opinion, has always been a city boy.
Yeah,
And I mean, this is something that, like I said, you can't be convinced to be a bisexual man. This is something that's within. You were already bi-curious to begin with.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a heterosexual man, no one can talk you into being a pansexual individual.
I
No one can
wonder if
talk you to that.
I wonder if he's connected to the U-ish.
So
Clyde.
Davis,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's part of the state.
Did y'all hear about? Did y'all hear about
I knew he was gonna say that.
Did y'all hear about that Biggie? Did y'all hear about that Biggie video about the girl that was dancing? The one one with him and Puffy was in the club, and that girl, that girl was actually a transformer. That's what we call
I
them.
heard about that. Yes,
Yeah,
She was,
was
and
a
she
Yeah, I
still
saw
is.
that
yeah,
She
and the
was,
one
and she still
and the
is.
one LL Cool J when LL Cool J was
Well,
with
come
Biggie
in
on
and
the
now.
video.
Come on
yeah,
now. Come on now.
well.
Come on.
It
yeah.
Come
is
on
no
now.
secret. It is no secret that Todd Smith is a
You gotta be real, man.
pansexual man.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
allegedly,
yeah,
allegedly, because there's been a transgender who has been talking about him for years on YouTube. A
yeah,
real hideous one,
yeah.
with a bald head, and
Damn, at least you're gonna
they
pick one big one with some hair. Come on now.
he he was saying, or this individual was saying that
No.
he was on a block in Queens, on a prostitution block where there were transgender prostitutes, and he said they picked picked this person up and and he explained in graphic details what Todd Smith was.
Well, let's
So
go to the one that got the worst end of the stick. All right, someone that more put in there as the victim. Let's say Meek Mills. What do you think of him?
Meek Mills is so desperately trying to clear his name that it's
Yeah, he
pathetic. No
crazy.
one
He got a
believes
lawsuit
anything
out
he
now.
says.
Yeah.
That audio of him and Puffy sounds disgusting.
Do
Mm-mm-mm.
it. Crazy.
My daughter sent me that. I said, "Why are you
Crazy.
sending me this trash? I don't want to hear this. I do not want to hear this. Sounds like two wolves. I don't want to hear this mess." And I
Young dogs.
because I said, "Who is this?" She said, "Oh, that's Puff and Meek Mill." I said, "Why you send me this mess?
Like, ew.
Why you send it to me?"
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what she was sending. It was just audio. It didn't say nothing. Said, "Listen to this, Dad." I said, "Come on, what is this mess?" And when she told me, I deleted it.
So I say he's got the worst end of the stick. I mean,
Right, literally.
man.
Crazy.
So I mean, this is the industry, man. I mean,
Yeah, but he's like a little the gatekeepers are people like Yo Gotti, Gucci, Jay-Z, like Puffy, Snoop. I showed how Snoop because Snoop. I don't know if y'all remember.
Hold up. What are you saying?
Yeah. All right, now the first time Snoop sold out, right? He made Murder Was the Case. He was talking about how he was talking to the devil, and the devil was giving him power. If you actually listen to that verse, he's saying, right?
Yeah,
The second thing he did, why is he now? He now is the owner of Death Row. So what he did is when he helped in certain Tupac, or I'm gonna say allegedly in Tupac murder, I'm gonna say he knew about it and he helped because on the camera,
acts of atrocity.
Yeah, on the camera, he said he knew who did it. He never spoke on it no more. But when he went on stage at a Tupac hologram concert, and even though Tupac didn't like Snoop when he died, people don't know this too. Tupac hated Snoop when he died because he was joining Biggie. And when he got on stage, he had a 6-point star cloth around his he had a 6-point star outfit on. Now people say, what does that mean? He's a Crip. I said, well, if you know, Crips in California don't wear 6-point stars. That is an East Coast Crip. So you see what I'm saying? So then if he's a West Coast Crip and they don't do 6-point stars, why do you have a 6-point stars around your or matter of fact, one of the 6-point star was the 5-point star, and every single star was upside down. It was the 5-point star. And Crips wear 6-point stars, which only in East Coast, the California don't even do stars. They don't do stars at all. Because I know people that's in it that's connected to California, and they don't do stars. Stars come from East Coast. That blue, that 5-star, that 6-star stuff, all that is East Coast.
So in other words, we're gonna go with it from the point of view of fiendish, atrocious, cruel, damnable, and demonic.
Yeah. And then right after that he became the owner of Death Row. So now he's running it. He's a gatekeeper just like they are now.
Wow.
They said that Quincy Jones was a gatekeeper also.
Come on. You going old school on us?
Tupac actually exposed them. Tupac exposed them.
Right, but you won't find that tape. I know where you're going. They scrubbed it.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, he said that
because he was married to his daughter, so he had to. She basically talked him into apologizing.
Right. He wanted to have relations with Tupac, and Tupac.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're discovering is the industry was connected even back then to the same shit. Literally, we know this anyway.
Well, listen, I can go back further. Let me name some names off. If you know old Hollywood, Cary Grant,
of
Errol
course,
Flynn, James Dean, Rock Hudson, Anthony Perkins from Psycho, Marlon Brando, Richard Pryor.
Hold on. Did you not say Marlon Brando?
Yes, Marlon Brando.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Oh, guess who's in the building, y'all? Let's take a pause.
You know, it's a rumor that Marlon Brando's wife said that him and Richard Pryor was had a relationship together.
Yeah, shalom, fam. Shalom.
I can believe it. Hey, shalom. Shalom, my brother.
Everybody put their hands together for Brother Ben. He's in the house.
All right, brother Ben is now.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Dwayne.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
just like just so much going on at the moment here. So, yeah, it's all good. What have I missed?
Eric, you're right about what you said. I heard that also.
Yeah.
I
And
heard
Paul, and Richard Pryor's son is saying Paul Mooney molested him. So,
Right.
there's a lot. Yeah.
That-
Hold on. It seems like it's outside of the that's why I said industry anyway. Outside of the music industry, went to Hollywood. I mean, you probably keep on going. You're gonna find out damn near any possible thing where there's money to be made is connected with that bullshit.
Yeah, but see, it started like people don't understand how old, and that's what I'm trying to show people. People don't understand how old Satanism is, because Satanism actually, like the guy that made Satanism, Anton LaVey, he influenced rock and roll. So a lot of people that run rock and roll back in the day when they were Satan worshipers, they actually owned the major labels that the rap labels are under. So like Universal and all that stuff. And Anton LaVey, who created the Satanic Bible, the Satanic Church, he is influenced by Aleister Crowley. And people don't know Aleister Crowley was a musician too. So
Right.
a lot of rock and roll people got influenced by Aleister Crowley, and they joined with Anton LaVey because Anton LaVey is a cultist. A Satanist ain't nothing but a cultist. That's all they are. They're the same thing as Anton LaVey. They just use Satanism because they are adversaries against Christianity and God.
So Alex Crawley is the bald-headed gentleman with the long beard, correct?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
He the student of Aleister Crowley, and the guy that made Scientology is a student of Anton LaVey.
Okay,
and they all believe in butt magic.
Yeah.
Ron, you're talking about Ron Hubbard, correct?
Yeah, Ron Air Hubbard.
Who also did a merge. A lot of people don't know this. I hate to say it.
Yep,
but
with the
merged
NOS.
with Louis Farrakhan,
Yep.
with the NOI.
All occultism. They all teach
Right.
occultism. Yeah.
Right. So I believe that Louis Farrakhan is a Christian.
Oh yeah,
I believe
most
that.
definitely.
I tell people this all the time, and I don't say this to disrespect. Yep, there's Crawley right there. I don't say this to disrespect anyone that's part of the NOI, but if you know the information as far as the studies and everything, at one point in time, I don't know if it's still incorporated within their belief system now, but Ron Hubbard, who was some type of writer, mystery writer of books, teamed up with Louis Farrakhan and was part of the NOI. Somehow he was incorporated within their organization.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why would you have some guy whose belief system has to do with Scientology be part of the Nation of Islam? This is why I say that the Nation of Islam allegedly is a bunch of Shriners.
Yeah.
And like you said, allegedly black nationalists.
Yeah.
This is what
Can
they
I
are.
add something?
Yes,
I
sir.
want to add something to that. I actually just saw just today on my feeds, on my Facebook feeds, Louis Farrakhan, I won't even call him a minister, but Louis Farrakhan said, "You cannot be saved unless you embrace Christ."
Oh my goodness! Really?
Quote unquote. Honestly, I swear to you, right? I shit you not, right? That's exactly what he said. Today, I saw it today.
Wow. You know
Funny
what?
enough, you're saying that.
Louis X, now known as Louis Farrakhan, was a teacher under the guidance and mentorship of Malcolm X. So he knows how to speak. He's very influential. He's charismatic. But a lot of stuff that he's saying, I don't believe in anyway, because like I said, I never looked at him as a true Muslim when I was part of the Muslim nation, because we were taught that the NOI were a bunch of Shriners. We was told that they're fake Muslims. They don't use the Quran. They don't make salat, which means prayer, and that they're fake Muslims. We were always told that because they used to wear fezzes. And we never really looked at them as true Muslims.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
like if you go to that video, like I said when I was interviewing Kamishin, he basically showed everything. He showed that they had the pictures where Elijah and Farah is under Nobel Joy Lee. Nobel Joy Lee got killed in prison. And a lot of people don't know that. And Farad came and said he was the reincarnation of Nobel Joy Lee, and he was the chosen one. So when they took over the Moorish temple, they made it a Muslim temple. And Elijah brother, this is what he's showing. He was talking about Elijah brother ended up sacrificing somebody in the temple. So he split from his brother, and then that's when they started creating like the Nation of Islam. But he created it with Masons because he's supposedly supposed to be. I remember Sanet and them was supposed to a long time ago. I mean, matter of fact, it was Seti. Sarasut Seti is supposed that he was a 33-degree Mason the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And so he infiltrated the Moorish temple with the Masons. So when they took over, they created the Nation of Islam. So it was a lot of the teachings and a lot of the ways they go is Masonry and it's mixed in. So that's why I say because Masonry teaches esotericism. They teach mysticism. They teach the same things cultists teach. They teach the same thing a Mason teaches. That's why if I got pictures where Masons are sitting right beside Farrakhan, he got the Mason suit on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he go to churches because church preachers are what? Masons.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying? So it's all that is together.
I definitely believe that. Like I said, I was told, and this was back in the days, that he was a Shriner. You know what I'm saying? And that they wore the feathers and stuff. And that has to do with some ancient order of the mystic shrine, you know. So that was a society.
Have you ever been to one of them Christmas parades?
Nah.
If you go to I grew up a Christian. My bad. I grew up a Christian. I'm sorry.
I grew up a Christian. I never.
I went to Christmas parade. All right, so down here we have a Christmas parade where you know I said Easter, but with Santa Claus, all that stuff goes to do the parade.
Oh, you saying Christmas parade?
Yeah. So when you look, you see these white guys, and they driving this little ass white car, these little ass white go karts, and they have feathers on their head, and they have feathers with the string, and they're Masons, they're Shriners. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that fez stuff is a Shriner thing too.
Right.
Like Nobel Joy Lee didn't have a fez. He didn't wear a fez. So that's why a lot of that fez stuff, I kind of, because, you know, the reason I did that interview with him, if y'all go in, the people that's watching, I go to the couple of videos down, it's me interviewing Kamishin. He's a Morris Science Temple, Morris Science Temple, and he basically gets in arguments with the Masons because he said they infiltrated them. But see, I tried to say Nobel Joy Lee was a Mason, and that's why he came on the show to prove that he wasn't. That he actually was killed by the Masons and and it got infiltrated by Elijah Muhammad. So it's a real controversial video, like, you know what I mean. So it's just a lot of people overlooked it. But when you go back to it, you can be like, wow, like he put a lot of information out there.
So
let's look at what the AI is saying about a Shriner. What is a Shriner?
Okay.
Shriner is a member of Shriners International, a fraternal organization for men that's based on Masonic principles and known for its colorful parades, red fez, and philanthropy.
All right.
Right on the money, brother. Right on the money.
Right. So
yeah, because I used to see him as a kid, and I'd be like, "What is this? Why are these dudes riding around these little go karts? They got these red hats on their head, and it just looked weird." I was like, "What is that
go karts?"
Yeah, it's like, you know, like them little small go karts. They in the parade just riding them around, and they got the whole suit on and there. But I never knew what they was. So I got old, and I was like, "Wow, they was Shriners the whole time."
Yeah, I mean, this is something I knew about back in the '80s. Mid 80s, when I, you know, like I said, when I did become part of the Islamic Nation, I believe the true Islamic Nation, which is the Sunni Muslims. And like I said, we were taught to respect NOI, but we're told by our imam that they are not Muslims. They are nationalists, and they wear bow ties, they shave their beards off. They go against all the principles and the tenets of the Quran. So how could they be Muslims? That's what we were taught. At that time, I don't know about now, but back in my time, allegedly, They didn't make, like I said, no salat, which is prayer 5 times a day. They did not read a Quran. This is what we were told. I spoke to members of the NOI back in those days, and some of them did say that they didn't read the Quran. They just were not told to read. I mean, they may read it now, I don't know, but back then they weren't reading it. So, that's the core, the mantra of your belief. How can you not read a Quran if you consider yourself a Muslim and you shave your beards off? I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the song.
Have you ever heard this guy named Amir Bashir? He used to be on Side Another too. Well, his teacher is a guy from overseas, and he's supposed to be like some Messiah type Muslim guy, and he called his teacher. Now he's saying his saying is he the one that sent Farad over here, and when Farad went over here, he met Elijah. And that's when because Elijah was a preacher at first, so
Right?
They met together. And that's when he started teaching this thing. But he was so basically they was a branch off from this guy all the way overseas that they didn't even know that it was a branch off from. I think Elijah knew, because somehow I think he supposed to have told him he supposed to disappear. But
right, that's what they said.
But the mistress lady, she like 100 years old almost. She said she met Farad Muhammad after the people were saying she was dead. He just was calling himself something else, and she called him uncle. But he was still there the whole time. So it's a lot of, it was a lot. But you got to realize it's 1930, 40, so it won't social media cameras everywhere. You know what I mean? So
Who that
there was a
sound
lot
like?
of trickery.
Yeah,
That sound like Jesus or somebody, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right.
That same old story.
Yeah.
I mean, the Messiah thing. I mean, I don't know, because they call them Mahdis, as far as like not Messiah. But I mean, like I said, we were just taught not to disrespect them, but we were told that they're not really Muslims. But everything that you spoke about is 100% on the money. With Elijah Poole, which eventually became Elijah Muhammad, I was told that he was part of the Moorish nation. A lot of stuff that they did. This is why Malcolm had a problem with them at the end, because he started to find out that a lot of stuff that Elijah did was corrupt, and he was about to expose him, I think. And because what did it for Malcolm, based on what I read and researched and the movie, once he made his pilgrimage, because that's one of the tenets of Islam, you have to make pilgrimage to Mecca. And once he found out that there were Muslims of different nationalities, colors, and he was taught different, then he started to look at things from a total different point of view. And he started his own thing. And I think that's the reason why he was murdered.
I got a question though, because because you're right, because one of the Muslims told him that if Elijah ever was to come over there, they'll chop his head off, because they say he was teaching that Farad was Allah. They believe in like So I have a question though. Do y'all even think that Elijah was black? Do we know?
I think he was biracial.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he.
He look Asian. He kind of look. He got a lot of Asian.
I think he would eat them. I'm dead serious though. Real.
Going by the jawbone. That's what it is. Going by the jawbone.
I'll be honest. I could never see. I've never seen any real colored pictures of this man. I think he was a biracial man. I don't think he was educated, and the reason why, because I used to listen to a lot of his speeches, and he didn't have a very strong speaking voice, and he kind of had like a stutter, and the way he spoke, it wasn't very clear. So I believe that he was not an educated man, but he had the power to mesmerize people and to unify people together. And that's what made him powerful. Like the same with this sadistic killer, Charles Manson. He never murdered anybody, but he brought people together to murder others. That's what made him vicious.
And Malcolm raised them. Hey, whoever controlled the thing, look up Farrakhan daddy, because I want y'all to tell me this. Y'all think it's really his dad?
Farrakhan is
Farrakhan
half
father.
white, also. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's why I'm telling you to look it up real quick. Put
Right.
Farrakhan father.
Yeah.
And he'll eat a mic too.
Oh yeah.
Put him up DOA or either Smash.
Yeah.
That was
He
my
admitted that.
father.
Farrakhan father.
He admitted that on
And
a
show the
interview.
picture what they say. Show with the picture they showed who he is.
Percivio Clark.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, let me see that. Oh man. Show this
Okay.
one.
Anglo Caribbean immigrant.
You see him?
Yeah.
That's what they say. I mean, that's what they saying. Now, I'm not saying
Right.
it. I'm just saying that's what they saying. And he
Right.
kind of
you
looks
gotta
like. I mean,
consider.
Farrakhan kind of got some of his features. I mean,
Well, you got to also understand, right? I mean, black. His mother was black. She had the dominant gene. I'm gonna take it back a little further. You ever heard of the rock singer named Lenny Kravitz?
yeah.
Lenny Kravitz's father is a white Jew, and his mother is Roxy Roker off of the Jeffersons. Does Lenny Kravitz look like a white
Oh
man?
yeah.
His father is a European.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
they
you're right.
say you are what your father. He does not look, because he was raised by his mother's people who are Jamaican, Roxy Roker off of the Jeffersons, who actually who was married on the show to a European.
Yeah. I mean, see, because like I tell you, the thing that messed everything up is when they did race. Because if you go to nationality, they, like when people say European,
Right.
it was black European. So there's no such
Exactly.
Right.
thing as when a person
Right.
say European and everybody thinks it's just white people. No, it was black
Exactly.
people
Right.
already in Europe too.
Well, the thing is, like I try to tell people, when it comes to titles, if you go to Directive Number 15, all these racial classifications were adopted back in 1977. Just go to Directive Number 15,
Right.
Google that, and that has to go with the Statistic Bureau, and it talks about black, white, island, native islander.
Directive what number?
Directive Number 15. Put that in your Google, and some Statistics Bureau will come up, and it'll give you the titles that anthropologists adopted and given to us. These are
Yeah.
You
all
know what?
titles.
How they
I'm
looked
gonna
at your
I'm gonna do it.
cranium
I'm
and
gonna
all
do it
that
through AI. AI ain't gonna lie.
Right. Or you just put
Mhm.
it in Directive Number 15, and it'll pop up.
There you go. No. I wanted to just check it with AI because AI, like I said, ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Now that we got this technology now, like
Oh yeah.
just use it.
That's a new saying right there. AI ain't gonna lie.
Definitely not.
AI ain't
So,
gonna lie.
but I use the word Euro because based on Europe. And I use it for that reason, because like I tell people, anyone could be white. You can you can be a German and be white. You can
Yeah.
be an Italian and be white. It's not a race, nationality, region, state, or island. It's
Yeah.
it's basically a social construct.
Yeah.
Reason, reason,
Yeah.
reason being why I say he eat them is not to cut nobody off, but reason being why I say he's Edom, because it's biblically known that Edom, they love their idols and they love their religion, and they always
Correct.
gonna have those traits to go back to their religion and their idols every time,
Correct.
Right.
historically and biblically.
Absolutely.
So
Louis
Now,
Farrakhan was actually a violinist. He was
Yeah.
into music, Caribbean music,
Yep.
and he was recruited by Malcolm X. This is why he's so charismatic, and even sounds like Malcolm when he was young. If you listen to some of his
Yep.
earlier tapes,
He sound like a preacher now.
yeah, he sounds like a preacher now. And I tell people that Louis Farrakhan is in his last days, as far as, because he's winding down as far as who he is. I said he is a Christian minister. He is no longer a Muslim or an alleged Muslim. They said, "Why you say that?" I said, "Because the Nation of Islam is a title he uses, but
Yeah.
he is a Christian minister." I said, "This guy stays more in the church than Reverend Porkchop."
Yeah.
They said, "There's no way that this guy is a Muslim."
let's go back. Let's go back to Brother Vicar's statement. I like when he was saying that statement about Edom, and he was saying that literally because I can utilize some of that traits of Edom. You know, the wickedness, Edom,
Right.
and how it works. You know what I mean?
All this
Which
that we're
makes sense.
talking about comes into the lesson of today's um, title, wickedness. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you said.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. That's what you know. I would have to defend them in case, like, because a lot of people be listening and somebody say, "Well, he's saying that Esau is a white man," or blah blah blah. You're not saying that. You're saying what you're saying is based upon that could be really literally any of them by their traits because they all have the same trait. They sit there with
Right.
religion, they idols, and you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Anything that's
Black,
like
white, yellow.
adversary
Right.
towards the actual path what we're supposed to be on. You know?
Well, I know the ISUPK teaches that Esau was a white man, and that is not particularly true. They based that on the scripture that said there was two nations in Rebecca's body, but this one nation doesn't have to be someone of European descent. You have to understand if you're saying that Esau is a European or white, then you're saying that Rebecca and Yishak is white. You're saying his twin Yaakov is white. So we got to stop with the non-logical statements. I'm not talking about us, but this is what ISUPK teaches, that Esau was the white man.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's crazy because
at the same time,
it's
we don't want to
crazy.
give them. You don't want to give them no, because you know people listen to our podcast and then they turn around and be
Yeah,
like,
they
"Oh
do.
man, these guys are very wise. These guys are smart. These guys, so let's use that in debate."
It's
Yes,
crazy,
you're
right?
right.
Because it's crazy because I got a video. It says Yakub versus Science. It was talking about Elijah Muhammad and how he used the story of Yakub, and it actually lines with what Science said because he's actually talking about what you call the white gene, and that's what we call the OCA gene now that actually lightens your skin up. So and it calls albinism, and it said that and it's the gene that created the so-called white European in Europe. So if he breaks it, so to me, I don't think he really believed in Yakub. I think he was teaching Yakub in a mythology way and teaching in genetics. But
Remember, he
at
was
the
saying the
time,
truth. He was saying the truth, and it was kind of hidden in plain sight. That's
yeah,
what literally he was doing.
he was doing it so to me, Yakub was just a mythology character he used to try to teach genetics in a certain
Hmm.
time where people didn't understand genetics.
Right.
I got a point real quick. If I decide to go out here and say if I want to get me a yeet lady and I have kids with her and them kids come out, they come out on like the portion. And if them kids repeat the process 3, 4, 5 times, you're gonna think
Yeah,
those kids are white kids, but they're still
yep,
gonna be my lineage of kids. They're gonna have
Right.
my traits, they're gonna act like
Powerful
me, they're gonna
point.
walk like me, they're gonna talk like me, but they're still gonna be my kids.
Powerful
So
point.
Right.
well, if I mean, yeah, true. I mean, because like I said, it's a racial thing, so it matters like what like because if you mix it up and then you keep mixing and mixing and mixing, yeah, both genes are going to stay in it. So
right,
it's now it is coming from your lineage, but now they're going to look different because now
right.
you can like I was showing in the OCA, if you get two mixed people and they have straight hair and they have the OC2, they actually can create a whole European
Different
baby,
looking
meaning with
person.
the blonde hair, blue eyes, look just like a European baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm.
If it's a mix, they could if you can create an albino down the line because that gene is still always processing. So when he was talking about genetics and he was talking about the light and the darker, of course, like I got to tell people, we got to realize this man was teaching in 1930s. So of course he's not 100% correct, but
Right.
he was teaching in a genetic way and trying to teach it to these people that didn't really know it because you gotta realize when he was teaching, we supposed to have got on slavery probably like what 40 years or something, 20, 60 years or 50 years after slavery. He trying to
Right.
teach in a genetic way, so he touched. But what happens with people, just like the Bible, just like the Quran, like I'm telling people, we took everything literal. So now they
Yes.
believe it's a big head man walking around. He was an alien. He just started mixing people up.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So like
I got
everything
I got a
crazy.
question for you, Eric. So
Yeah,
like what grafting is, right? Like when you do like
yeah,
okay, let's say an oak tree, and what grafting is, they'll take like the trunk of an oak tree, and they'll take like a branch of let's say an orange tree and stick it inside of that oak tree and try to grow that oak tree. I mean not that oak
yeah,
tree. They'll try to grow that orange tree off of that oak tree,
yeah.
and they'll kind of say, hey, this is orange tree now. But it's stuck into a root, grafted in the root of an oak tree. So what would you
Yeah,
say that is?
It's still an oak tree.
yeah.
All right.
But see, but when they create, see, now you gotta understand this. When they created race, they call it breeding out. So like when they went to a place like Australia, right? What they did is they actually did what Elijah was teaching on Yakub. They actually went to Australia. They impregnated the woman, and then every baby that came out light, they took them. Everyone that came out dark, they left them with them, and then they
Mm,
made them breed in with somebody whiter, and then they whitened them up
right.
so much that they became a part of their race, and that's how they breeded out a lot of them people. So it became a racial thing, not really a genetic thing. It became more. That's why they had to change it to a racial thing to say, okay, you white and I'm black.
I
So because a
agree.
lot of people, yeah, because a lot of people get passed for white. That's why, like in North America, a lot of people, a lot of light skinned people pass as white. So if the slave master had a baby by the slave, and she came out white enough, he can actually portray her as her daughter. If it didn't look like a white person, he put her on the field. And that's why I was telling people that's
And
how the
that's the
North
concept of
actually,
race.
yeah, and that's how the North actually
Right.
got the North. That's how people in the North, the abolitionists actually got the North to help, because they went to the South and they seen real light skinned slaves that look all down there white, and they went to the North and said these people are enslaving their own children. So that's what made them care about it.
Right.
I got a question too. Now, this one's a good one. It
Yeah.
don't seem weird, but it's gonna have a very important factor in it. I know we all know about Cain. Cain. Do we think that Cain's seed is still around today, even though the flood happened and everything else?
I mean, I
What I
don't really. I mean,
said it's gonna be a weird
I
one.
don't want to. I don't want to say it because I mean, I don't. You know how I feel about that story. So I
I
don't really. I don't
I'll
believe that.
take
I mean,
I'll take a swing at it. I don't think it is, but I think maybe the woman, based on what I read, the woman, I guess, if you want to say that, but not the seed, but that one woman, which was who was it? Noah's wife. She was supposedly be one of Cain's daughters or something like that, if I'm not
Wow,
mistaken.
wow.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
That, that's a good one there.
Well,
That's a good way
I
of
reckon.
justifying it.
No comment.
Well, look at this
yeah.
now. I mean, like, I reckon, yeah, definitely Kane's seed is still around. Look at the wickedness now.
Brother Ben, you fell for that one.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta be like, how can Cain seed exist? They say if Cain was like the story of the Cain story, et cetera, it's fact on fact. How could Cain seed exist if the world was destroyed?
Yeah. I just ain't want to go. I ain't want to. I'm saying no comment. I ain't
You
want
gotta be
Oh,
careful
yes.
sometimes.
Oh my God.
But I would think that it's probably the traits that's gonna still be around though. They ain't gonna go
That's
nowhere.
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the traits are gonna always be there. I think we lost brother Eric. His phone finally went. Oh, he's back. I think the traits are gonna be there. That's gonna exist because you know why? It's
Why?
always going to be evil, wickedness. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
Like I said earlier,
and
evil.
not saying that Cain was an evil or wicked person. Obviously, we know that he did a wicked act.
Right.
Yeah.
But evil will always be around, like you said, piggybacking. There has to be, and people may think I'm crazy, but it has to be a balance. Everybody's not going to walk around here good like an assembly line. It's just not going to be there. Okay. It's not. Like,
It's not.
you're going to
Yeah.
have evil people. You have people that are born evil, and you're just going to have people that are naturally compassionate and good people.
The
It
most
has to,
important thing about what you're saying is you having the actual cahoots, the balls to say that, like anybody else. If you would ask that from I guess from a religious point of view or Torah centered point of view or even a Christian point of view or whatever, they wouldn't
right.
say that. They would be scared or skeptical to state that. I like the way you had the balls to
And
actually say that.
DOA, I gotta go. I got a question for the panel too, right? Because
Yes.
people get mad when I say that, so I'm gonna ask this question: Who was an enemy or turned it back to God more, the Israelite nation in the Bible or Satan?
I have to say the Israelites.
Right, because Satan actually was not an enemy.
Yeah, Israel.
Yeah.
He worked for the Creator.
Yeah,
But
so
see,
people get mad, like a lot of Israelites get mad when I say it, because I'd be like, well, I said, man, I said, ain't no such thing as I try Christian too, ain't no such thing as a devil or no Satan.
right.
I
It's
said, you are the devil and Satan. You
That's
have turned your back, and
right.
you haven't went against God more than anybody.
Keyword,
on earth.
Eric. I like that keyword. And these people
I
have
agree.
that keyword from the beginning. Free will. They made the choice. Israel made the choice to do whatever they did and turn their
Right.
backs. Whatever. If they chose to go with idolatry, they chose to do. It wasn't the devil that did it. They did it.
Yeah.
And he said the right thing. There's no such thing as a devil, because that comes from Christianity. That has nothing to do with Hebraic culture. I mean, the Satan or whoever, or the messenger himself, worked with the Creator. His job is to see who he can take off the path from a metaphorical
Right.
point of view.
Yeah, because I told a girl one day, I said, man, Satan ain't make you get that man head, you did it. I mean,
I know she wanted to sock you one day. If she can come through the mic,
don't blame those.
That's some church talk, ain't it?
Yeah, man. But there is no Satan, man. There is no fiery place with a dude with a red cape on and minions underground. All that is allegory.
Baloney.
And when I say that to my family, they look at me like I'm insane. I'm like, yo, you guys do know that there's no such thing as hell. They're like, what? I'm like, yo, it's not.
Yeah, that's one thing about the obviously
Man,
the world.
I love this circle. I ain't gonna lie. I love this
in the world where we have to be subjected to Christians' belief, right?
Right.
Obviously, they are strong on hell. Hell is everything.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Based on this show's preference, any statements that are made by any fellow Hebrews that are in this room is based on our belief as a Hebrew-centered Israelites. And it's not the belief of all people that listen to the station. Okay, now go with your statements.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I tell people that it ain't the fear of Jesus that people believe in Jesus and have to believe. It's the fear of hell. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, yeah, it's the fear of hell. I used to argue with my mama all the time. We used to go scripture to scripture, and I don't show her stuff that she look at it. She be like, I still can't believe it because 50 years she's been told if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to hell. So it's the fear of the hell. It's not Jesus. It's the fear of hell.
Right.
Starting to make me about old Paulo Bay. It's one thing that they used to always talk about: hell, fire, hell, this, hell, that.
Right.
Do you believe in Jesus? Or if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to hell.
That is a fear factor that the Catholics developed, I think, in the 3rd or 4th century to control their members, because let's face it, I mean,
they started doing freaky stuff.
Right. There's nothing that is mentioned in the Tanakh or the Torah about you're gonna go to hell if you do this, that. If anything, it's called Sheol, and it's a grave. It's
a place where all of us go visit.
All of us go there, correct?
Because I said, let me get this correct. I said, so if I believe
good, bad, or ugly.
Because I said, let me get this correct. I believe in Jesus, my Savior. I'm good. I go to heaven. I ain't got to believe in God though. But if I believe in God and I don't believe in Jesus, then I'm going to hell. So then, to me, who is your God? I mean, you can't. I mean, it's that simple.
Good point.
Right.
Excellent.
Great point.
Yeah, I mean,
if they was to actually stop, sit back, and listen to what they just agreed to and say, they probably would be like, "Yeah, man, you're right."
Because most Christians, for me growing up in the Christian church, and I tell people this all the time, most Christians believe that Jesus is the human form of God. I believe that when I was a Christian, that Jesus is God and He's the human form of flesh of God. But they don't say that because people like me come around. They say, "Oh no, we know He just is flesh." But they actually believe that He's God, and they believe without Him, when you wake up in the morning, they say thank Jesus. They pray to Jesus. They
Take
say
the
Jesus,
wheel.
King of Heaven. They say He died for your sins. They say He a lamb. They say He got them shield or sun. They say
They
He got
husband.
them. I mean, He the Word. I mean, He everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So,
He said a
Brother
shield
Ben,
and a sun.
I'm gonna
yeah,
wake
like
you up,
He's
Brother
everything.
Ben. Brother Ben, you are
So,
the mascot of this one. You see the situation, and they turn around and want to argue with you. So you say, "Is this your Jesus? Is this your Jesus? Is
Yep.
this your Jesus? Is this your Jesus? Is this your Jesus? Is this your Jesus? Is this your
Yep.
Jesus?" Which one is the real
Well, I got
Jesus?
one. I
Please
got one
stand
for
up.
you. Well, I got a quick one for you, all right? So just recently, we're arguing about how the Jewish wish is people, right? Those people there, right? The Jewish wishes, right? Those people
Mhm.
there. And I said to the person who owns this farm. So we're having this big debate, right? And I said to him, they don't meet any of the curses or the scriptures. I said, God didn't put like the do you wish, right, people in the land. It was Britain under the Balfour Declaration, right, and the
Powerful thought,
Rothschilds,
powerful saying.
right? So yeah, but no, but basically he's like, oh no, you can't, it's not that. I need to research. I need to research what you're saying to me, right? So I said to him, so I used the New Testament against him, right? This is what I did. I was smart. So I said to him, doesn't your own New Testament say that those who call themselves Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan? And he's like, oh, I need to research this. You mean right? Their own words, right?
Oh, put them on the
So
spot.
I
Right.
Your
use
own book.
his Bible against him, right? So
Right. I
I
do the
said to him,
same.
and I said to him, so if you believe it's the end times, right? And it's in your Bible in the end times, right? Which basically marries with your your idea is we are living in the end times. So this is what I said to him, right? How can you argue that the synagogue of Satan isn't the people there now? And he's backing them up, and he's making excuses for them. You know what I mean? So it's either because like there's been no other modern day end of time do you wishes people, right? So he can't argue. He can't argue. It's his own scripture. It's
He
his
he
own
ma-
Bible.
he made a great point, especially when they say the lawless ones.
Yep. Well, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
I always say, and I will say it to the end of time, how is Yeshua your savior when this guy couldn't save himself? You have a savior that was hanging on a stake and was begging Yahweh to save him. So this is your savior? It makes no sense to me. Where's the
You
logic?
gotta give it back to him. You gotta give it back to him. You know why I say you gotta give it back to him, Brother Allen?
What?
As we are doing our podcast, our platform of podcast, trying to
Yes.
teach the truth and teach, the innocent a better way, a better path. You know what the Christians are doing? They're ignoring all the details and still pushing the fish, no matter what. Even though you proved them
Right.
wrong, they still push the fish.
Right.
Their book says this
They
now.
all
Programmed.
based.
They
They
still
all
push
based
the fish.
on. They all based on belief. And
hmm
belief don't have to be fact. It don't have to have nothing as long as they believe.
Right.
hmm
I have a relative that's here now, that's in the other room, and she's 93 years old. And I told her, Auntie, you have to realize the only person that can save you is Yahweh, the Creator. I said it says in Isaiah 33:22. She told me, she says, listen, I came in this world living and believing in Jesus. I'm going out of this world
Yep.
believing
Same
in
as my
Jesus.
mama is.
Wow.
And
Same as
Yep.
my
I
mama.
said,
I'm on the same way.
and I said, well, what if on that day when the Creator says to you, why didn't you listen to my servant Alan, who told you to believe in me? He says, well, I'll worry about that when that day comes.
Yeah.
Yep. My grandma said the
How you
same
Yeah,
say
thing.
it? How you
my
say it?
mama.
Ride or die for Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that you have to realize my aunt is from a different era. She's 93. She was born in the 30s, back in Elijah Poole's time. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is their persona. This
Yeah,
is
that's my
how they
grandma
look at the
age.
world. Yeah,
One
93
thing
years old.
about that age, you have to respect it. It shows
Yeah,
you an example of that how far back and deep
yeah.
idolatry was, and
I mean,
how we are not
I
going to
actually,
break it.
I never see it. Like, I never really talked to my great uncles and them because they wasn't like they was Christian. They was deacons in the church, but they wasn't like what my aunt was. Like, she was real. So like, you a woman, you couldn't wear no pants or wear no. So, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But my uncles, like, they build their own houses up. They build their houses from the ground up. So to
Oh wow.
me, I respected them as I called them real Christians because they live what they
Oh,
believed in. So I respect them as much as that, you know what I mean? And I didn't really talk to them. My mama, I tried to get her out of it, but like I said, it was just that fear of hell. The first thing she would tell me, "Hey, you want to go to hell? That's on you." I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So it was straight hell. It was like, no, I'm not
respect the
going to hell
same.
messing with you. Yeah, so that was it was just a fear, like, oh no, I'm never gonna do that. I ain't going to hell. I'm not gonna
Like
burn. I don't know
like
how
playing
your soul. I don't know
backgammon,
how
brother.
your soul go burn and you ain't got no flesh. But you know, I guess it's something. I guess it's a spirit fire or something.
Yeah,
But
trying to play backgammon with a tennis racket, brother. You ain't
yeah,
gonna
I'd be
win.
like that. That joint got to be hotter than the sun to burn your spirit. That'd be
Right. I
crazy.
mean, like you said, Eric, the fear factor is
Yeah,
incredible, and the mental manipulation that our ancestors went through is so deep that even if we show them scripture after scripture,
And
epistle
after
after
scripture.
epistle,
And after
books
scripture.
after book, they
yeah,
are not going to believe us. That's how mentally manipulated including my family, has been. You can't tell them. They're not going to believe you. So I believe, and this is just me, this is my opinion, I believe that a lot of those people that don't know better, I think maybe the creator will somehow,
forgive
I
them.
don't know,
Yeah,
he
Right.
will forgive them.
Yeah, I finna say the same thing. Of ignorance
Right.
of
Or
not
ignorant.
knowing.
Right. Because it says the creator looks out for old people and fools.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you notice that. You notice that though. You notice that though. That's a great exemption you just did. I could deal with the old folks, but the fools, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I don't know about the fools.
because
I don't know about the fools.
cause God said the ones who to say God don't exist are fools. So atheists to me are the foolish
Exactly.
people
Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly.
But that's basically, I mean, I think I can say all of us here have been part of the Christian experience, and we too at one point were mentally manipulated until we decided to, go out and strike on different avenues. And for the record, I was recruited by Muslims in the bus depot, not jail. I just want
So
you
we all wore that aluminum hat.
Mhm.
You know,
to
ever.
Mhm.
put that out there.
Well, you see, down here, down the south, that's where all of them, like, they go, because there's a lot of protection in prison. So a lot of them go to prison to get protected by the Muslims.
Right.
And then when they come out, they're Muslims or either 5%. So a lot of them come out, like, a lot of my peoples come out Muslims. But,
Yeah.
like, one guy, I ain't going to say his background, but just say he was a real gangster, right?
Right.
And he was my cousin, he did 10 years. He came out and he was a Muslim. And my peoples, I got a couple of my peoples to be Israelites. So I'm
Right.
talking with them. They like, bro, you need to talk to him. He a Muslim. He sit down and pee and all this stuff because before he go pray and this and this and that. So I went to him like this. I said, look, so you want me to tell this
So you
man?
sit down and pee.
Yeah, so, whatever Muslim he is, they sit down and pee before they pray in the mosque or
What?
something.
What
Yeah,
the hell
and
is that?
yeah, it's something about it because they supposed to be totally clean or something when they go
Oh,
pray.
you're talking about you. Okay, I know what you're talking. It's called
Yeah,
ovulation. What happens
yeah,
is
yeah,
before you pray, if you have to take a urination or a dump, you got to do that. And then what happens? You wash your feet, your hand, your elbows, your hair, your ears, and your hands. They call it wudu or oblation. You have to let everything out of your body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do oblation.
But see the point,
the
point of that was right. So they told me to get to talk him out of it. So I said, you want me, this man that don't, I ain't gonna say what he did, but this man don't did all type of stuff in the streets, hurt people. He don't did 10 years in prison. He was on dope. I said, you want me to go and tell him that there's something that got him off on it, and tell him to stop it. And then when he go back to the stuff, that shit gonna come on me. So it's certain things that I stay away from. Like if I see it change your life, I'm not gonna mess it up if I can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So,
you're right.
You mess that whole person's brain cells and everything up trying to tell them that shit ain't real at that point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I also believe a lot of Christians have learned the truth. But what has happened, they're so into deep, like the movie, they're into deep that they can't leave.
Yeah.
They spent 50, 60, 70 years part of a Christian, eating poor, living a white Jesus.
Hey, Alan, I got a question for you, right? Because you say you used to be a Muslim. Now, I got a boy. He got out right, and he a Muslim. And we were talking one day, and he said, I don't want to debate on none of this stuff. Because a lot of them don't like debating. So I said, man, I've been studying for 25 years and you just got out here and studied for 2. I said, it ain't going to be no debate. So I wouldn't even debate you. So I was just saying to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
he told him, man, I forgot most shit.
Yeah, so he like, he tells me as the Muslim he is, I forgot what he said he is, but he said the Muslim he is, he believes that Gabriel brought the Torah, the Gospels, and the in the Quran to us, right? So I said that's crazy, right? I said so you know the Old Testament believes in God and not Jesus. You know the Quran believes Jesus is a prophet. I said so how does the Gospels fit in? And how do you say that Gabriel brought all these? I said you know it was written by men, right? He was like, no, the angel brought it in. So is it like Muslims? What type of Muslims believe that? Because I didn't know Muslims believe in the gospel.
Yeah, how does that make sense?
Okay.
How does that make sense?
Okay, so this is what it is. This is what it is. And this is what we were taught. Well, I was taught as a Sunni Muslim. The belief is that the messenger Muhammad was in a cave in Hira. And the angel Gabriel came to him and inspired him to write the Quran. And the Quran is based off of the Gospels and is based off of the Torah, because you got to remember the same characters that are in Judaism, that's in Christianity is also in the Quran, because the Quran is supposed to be the last revelation. So it's a mix of everything.
I gotta ask you that same question again. How does the Gospels connect with that though?
Easy, because they use the same characters. Abraham is Ibrahim. Jesus is Isa. They use the Arabic names. It talks about them in the Quran.
Oh, so you said that? Okay, so he's saying they didn't bring the books that when they brought the Quran, he brought all 3 of them and mixed them together inside of this one book. Is what you're saying?
They're right. They're all in there, because if you go in the Quran, it talks about the Israelites. It's some information about the Israelites. It's information about the Christians. It talks about how Musa, they call him Musa, brought the Torah. It's a lot of information in different books, but the reason why it's information in all the information is in the books is because if you read From Babylon to Timbuktu, the Hebrew scholar Rudolph Windsor said Muhammad was taking information from the Christians and the Jews, and he was mixing everything.
So it sounded like he was doing.
Right. It wasn't what he was doing.
Because it's a part of the Quran I had read one time, and it said we believe in all the prophets all the way down
Yes,
to Jesus or something like that.
yes,
Yeah.
right. And Jesus, or what they call him Isa, he is called in the Quran Messiah Isa, but he's not the main focus. The main
I don't be
focus is
truthful about it. To me, they still got be puzzled that if they took the gospels, whatever they took a bit off, even if they just took the names, that means
right.
they have to take the stories. If they have to
Well,
take the stories,
you
how
got
do
to
they
realize that the
how do they
way
change the stories around?
because the way Muhammad is doing it, he's putting all of it in one because the Muslims believe and had me believing at one point, but I don't anymore, that Muhammad is the seal of all the prophets. He's the last one. The Quran is the last revelation. This is what a lot of Muslims believe. They will tell you that Muhammad is the seal of all the prophets. He's the
Wow.
last one.
I can tell you right now. There better
Yes.
not be a Muslim, any type of Muslim that ever get able to deal with regards to the Torah platform, because we would tear the ass
Of course we
on
would.
the
Of course.
gospel thing
I,
Yeah,
I,
alone.
I
they'll
got
be they'll be
I got
sending death threats.
I got one more question too, right? Because he didn't want to answer this question because they slowly try to hide this part. But is it true? Because I know a lot of them, some of them that say it, but they don't want to say it. But is
Well,
it
I'll
true
say it.
that the Muslim believe that the Quran is the correction of the Old and New Testament?
Yes, they do. They believe that.
Okay.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You are correct. We were taught that
Mm-mm.
the Quran is the last revelation of both books because those books are not, at their time they were considered the information to go to, but as time went on, the last books
I'm
is the
still
Quran.
puzzled though, Alan. I'm still puzzled, even
Right.
though it's not. I'm sure you're not a part of it.
Right.
It still puzzles me though. The stories, the gospels, right? That
Right.
you hear about, you read about, or talk about JC in there, however they want to call him, Isis or whatever, Esau's or whatever.
Yeah.
How did Muhammad not take the stories with him when he transformed this shit? You know what I'm
What you
saying?
mean? Well,
Because
but you got to realize he just does a walkthrough
mhm,
because the stories it talks about Musa, which is Moses, bringing the Torah. It talks
I can
about
agree with
Esau,
that. hmm
huh?
I can agree with that.
Right, and
I
they
have
talk.
no disagreement with anything with the Moses and Martha thing, but I have a problem with if they're saying that they don't believe JC it was such and such as a Muslim, and they just think of him as such and such. Where are they getting this information from?
Well,
Because if they
they look at Esau, Isa, or Jesus as a man. They say, "Woe is the man who believes that Esau is a son of a god. He is a man or something." They don't believe that he is what Christians say he is. They believe he's just a regular prophet in the Islamic faith. They don't look at him like they didn't even say that he died on the stake. They said he was raised up immediately because they're harping off of no, I'm gonna tell you what they're going off
He
of.
I like the way you
vanished.
said it. They don't think he died, but he was
No, they
raised
don't
up
think
immediately. Raised
they
up?
don't
Was he dead?
well, this
He
is the
vanished
thing.
like Kota Kutsu,
They
the
don't
Indian
believe
god
that he was harmed.
Quetzalcoatl.
And the reason why they say he was not harmed or tortured and he was
hmm
raised up immediately is because they're going off of Psalms 105:15.
But hold up.
Yes,
Don't not you. I'm not. You're not trying to tame you. I'm just saying
right.
if they're going off of Psalms don't actually really literally support that shit. So
Right.
how are
It
they
does
going off of that?
because it says, "Do not harm my prophets."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because if you notice, a lot of Muslims, when they debate people, what do? They go to the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them go to the Bible because
Right.
that's what we used to do. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I was a Muslim and spoke to you, a lot of them said, "Man, what the heck is that, man? I never
But they
heard
don't.
that."
They don't actually believe in the Gospels, though.
Who?
The Muslims.
Who said that?
No, they do. I think they believe Jesus is a prophet and not
Right.
like the Son of God.
They believe in the Gospels.
Okay,
I,
then no reason why I'm saying it. If they believe in the gospel, then they have to believe that there ain't gonna be no what you say Muhammad existing. Unless they say Muhammad.
Well, Muhammad to them is just a messenger. He's not. He's how they look at him. Well, some people who are not part of what's called Mohammedism, because Mohammedism is to believe in just Muhammad, and it exists. You can look it up. But
No, I believe you. I'm just saying I just can't see them being substantially relevant if they can say these crazy ass shit. And then, no, I'm serious. Because they worse off, I mean, they'd be better off just believing in Paul and then going with Paul's crazy foolishness. Because if you say Muhammad is saying what he's saying, it's not making no sense. You know what I'm saying?
It's just an outlook when they bring up the Gospels. They bring up.
I would say this needs to stay far from the Gospels.
The Torah, and they bring up the Christians, and you know what I'm saying. They don't go into full detail. Like they even talk about the birth of Isa, which is Jesus, and they basically talk about him being a man. You know, they don't say he's God or anything. They don't believe that. They don't believe that prophets are sons of God. They don't.
Do you think that they would believe that the way of Ishmael would be more accurate than Muhammad?
Well, Ishmael, based on some people's belief or philosophy, was the first Muslim because the word Muslim only means.
That's what I wanted you to
That's
say.
what I thought it was.
That's what I wanted you to say. Do you think Ishmael believed in Isis, or however you want to say it?
I don't think. I don't know. I can't tell you. That's a deep question because they don't really go.
Because you got to go back to the history of Ishmael.
Right. Well, Ishmael was the son of Abraham. We know that. But supposedly he was the first Muslim, and just Muslim.
That's what I always thought.
I can agree with that. But I'm saying, did you think that he believed in JC?
Did he believe in JC? I don't know. They don't go into his history.
You know why?
That's interesting.
Because he's not the child of promise.
Oh, wow. Good. Now, if they're going with the child of promise, they have to go with Isaac. And do you think Isaac believed in JC?
Right. So, I mean, for me, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe, but this is my belief that he didn't believe in it. But like I said, they don't go into the history, the veracity of this man. We don't know. He is mentioned as the son, and then how Abraham put him and his mother out, and then he moved to Paran, which was Mecca.
Me personally, I don't believe that, and as I'm saying this is not being funny. Me personally, I believe that Ishmael would be turning over in the grave the way these Muslims talk.
Yes, sir.
Crap. You know what I'm saying? I have to say that.
I agree.
I mean, the first Muslims, to be honest, were Moors. You know what I'm saying? Moors were actually Muslims as well, from Berber in Africa. So, I mean, there's different sets of Muslims with different philosophies. You have the Shiites, the Moors, the Sunnis.
Kind of remind me of the Messianic Christians or the Christians in denial and the ones that believe in Yahweh Shai and all that stuff like that and all this and that. Still Christians, but without different fish. That's all. Same.
Right. Because if you talk to the Ebionites and the Nazarenes, they're going to tell you that he was a regular man also. They'll tell you they don't believe in the book of like Paul's writings. They only believe in Matthew and Apocalypse, the book of Apocalypse. Those are the only two books that an Ebionite will tell you about. They won't tell you about the rest of the New Testament that says garbage. You know what I'm saying?
One book that I would accept out of all of the New Testament, one book that I would accept, to be quite honest with you, is Hebrews. And the only reason why I would accept that is because that's when you get the most follows of the Torah in there, right? That kind of like that's supported by everything that's being stated. And if you really do critiquing on it, you would see that Paul, when he wrote that, right, he was more likely just basically using that Hebrew persuasion to try to slap whoever those stiff necks back in those times to come to some type of conclusion that not Greek. That shit like that. That's about it.
I mean, as far as Paul is concerned, um, I do believe based on the narrative, if you read the book, he was a
Mhm.
Benjamite. But what happened somewhere down the line, based on the narrative, not that I believe it anymore, that he was influenced by this so-called vision, allegedly, and became a Christian. Um, he was still a Hebrew, but he was also a Christian. Hence, putting two words together, Hebrew Christian, which equals Messianic.
Do you think that happened in the 1400s or
What?
when this
No,
shit happened?
no, no. Me personally, now, no. I
Yeah.
think a lot. I think a lot of the New Testament is allegory. I think the Piso family had a lot to do with the writings.
Right.
I do believe that a lot of it was written for mental manipulation of the Hebrews to
I
control
like the way
us.
you said that mental manipulation of
Right.
the Hebrews.
Right,
Exactly.
right, to control us as a nation. Because before that, they couldn't take us out, so they had to find a way. Okay, we can take them out through writings. We'll come up with this
Right. They
fictitious
love their
religion.
writings.
Right, we love. We
So
followed the
it's
instructions
it's
to let them.
always been some type of demonic trap, that
Right,
been always put out to go against the person's free will, literally, always. You know,
right,
even though the most strongest point of is idolatry, that idol. You know what I mean?
right.
Literally,
So
make them
that
forget who they are and this and that. Forget the Most
right.
High. You know, and you know, go
There's
on
a
and go on, but put somebody else in front.
there's a writing I can't remember. I think it's in the Tanakh that says, "Let us make them forget who they are as a nation." I can't
Hmm.
remember that scripture, and we have forgotten who we are.
Hmm.
A lot of us,
It's
we
also in Psalms too. Literally.
right. So I don't have the book right now, but I have a Hebrew Israelite edition of the KJV, and it gives the scripture. I said, let us go against them or something, and let them forget who they are, and they're talking about us.
Hmm.
But I believe, like I said, and this is for those who are listening in the gallery or viewers that are watching our podcast. This is not a form of disrespect, no malice towards any Christian believers, but I do believe that the New Testament itself was a book of mental manipulation to um, disrupt our belief in having a one singular divine force, which was Yahweh. Um, you
I
know,
gotta agree with you with that way. The nice way of what you
I
said.
agree.
I have to say it in the DOA way. It's a book of shit. That's what that is.
Mm.
so and I say this, and when I speak about the New Testament and when I speak against it, I have no malice. As far as, I'm not saying it as a angry Hebrew Israelite. I'm saying as a person who myself, at one period in my life, believed this book wholeheartedly, that would defend this book like like
Right.
like a soldier.
For
But
concern.
right,
Hmm.
but learning the ins and outs of this book and studying it, and the true message of this book is that, you know Yeshua is supposed to be the apparent heir, based on the book of Hebrews. He's supposed to be the heir of the creator, and he is supposed to take over. This is
He supposed
why
to be
in
completion.
right, he's supposed to be complete. This is why in the New Testament you must pray to him first to get to
Hmm.
the creator. Where in the Torah you just pray directly to the creator. So there's a difference in beliefs. But when you talk to people, the first thing they say, "Oh, you only read half of the book."
But
No.
do Christians believe in the book of Daniel and it says the abomination of desolation? Period.
Well, the only thing the Christians believe in the book of Daniel is it speaks about Yeshua. That is their belief.
Well,
They
no,
believe
no. But the
it,
problem I have with that, it doesn't speak about it. But I'm just saying, do they
it
believe in
doesn't.
that part about the desolation of abomination, the desolation? That's what I'm
I,
talking
I don't
about.
I
Where
don't
all of
believe.
this shit that they would be believing in is all abomination at this point.
Right, but you have to look at the Christian mindset. Everything from Genesis to Malachi or the end of the book is apparently Jesus. Everything. They believe everything is talking about Jesus. Stepping on the serpent's head is talking about Jesus.
Well,
Everything.
I'm going to say this much, and y'all can all attest to it. Brother Ben, wake back up, because I'm going to put your buddies up there. Which one? Is it this one? This one? This one? This one?
There
I
are
can
multiple.
go on until I find the black one, and then I'm gonna still do the same. And what about this guy?
Right. We've come to discover, based on research, that there's multiple Yeshuas. There's a guy named Justin in the book of Colossians.
Look.
That's
That's
Jesus.
Jesus
He
there
got Trump
too.
on this. He got Trump on this.
There's a guy in the book of
Trump.
Acts. His name is Jesus. So there's a whole bunch of them. Barabbas had a guy named Jesus who he was locked up with. So there's a whole bunch of these Jesus guys. So I mean, is the book, in my opinion, valid?
Straight diabolical.
It's
Abomination of desolation.
it's just I don't want. So, but it's a
Oh,
good
hold
read.
on. Let me go back to the Israelites in the covenant.
Yes.
At this time, at this moment, the new covenant was made with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't see the other ones. These was the participants.
That's
There's
actually
the
that's
whole
actually the
house.
sun. It's actually the sun in the zodiac sign.
Deep sea divers could even find this fish.
I mean, the new covenant, based on the narrative in the New Testament, was made with Yeshua and his disciples privately over a dinner.
I think I heard this week, you said covenant. There was a big talk about from the Christians and the Christians with this thing. They were arguing that they're not in the new covenant. I'm like, wow, you
Really?
realize that? And then hold on. And then the other one says, well, we can't be in the old covenant because the old covenant was put away with because of JC, right? And then somebody, DOA the whole thing. He says, well, if we're in captivity, right, or scattered, in such and such, what would we be scattered under? Wouldn't we be scattered under the old covenant?
Right.
And there was crickets.
I mean, we as Hebrews never experienced being part of an old covenant because we weren't around. But we are part of an everlasting covenant because God doesn't break his promise. Even though our ancestors.
Right.
Oh boy, we got a new one.
Exactly.
We gotta cry right at about closing time. Let me put him up here.
Right.
So what I've
Take
done
care
in
of
my research that I KJV and even the
Oh, you more.
even the real books.
That the K and even the Tanakh is even the real book. Well, as far as the KJV is a revised version of the stories based on the Hebrews. Okay. Beta Israel. Okay, let me ask you a question. Beta Israel, are they Jews or Hebrews? Now there's a difference there.
Good question.
Because
Let him answer it.
Right.
Answer it.
Is Beta Israel, if you did not hear me, sir, Mr. Moore, are they Jews or Hebrews? And when you answer that question, I'll answer your next question, sir, why I'm asking this. Because there is a definite answer behind the question that I asked. And he's getting his information. So if they don't describe themselves as either, how can they make such a statement? They're calling themselves Beta Israel. Israel is connected to the Hebrews. Jews don't call themselves Israels. They call themselves Israelis. There's a difference, sir. Why I asked this question.
He says they speak G's.
Has nothing to do with it, sir. Has nothing to do with the language. You had Hebrews that spoke multiple languages. Abraham was considered a Hebrew, spoke Akkadian language, but he was a Hebrew. So what does that have to do with it? You have to answer the question if they consider themselves Jews or Hebrews to make such a statement.
Well, he's got to first deal with the fact that they speaking language. The language
Right.
of Jesus is the language. There's no connection with that answer. We gotta wait
Right.
for him to make a correction on his response.
Right.
Give him a
You know.
few. You know what I mean?
I'm
Because
guessing, sir, that you read the book, The First Africans Wrote the Bible, or something to that. That's why you made that distinction or whatever. But you're
right now
definitely right.
he might be a little tongue tied right now because that
Right.
kind of like the answer that he gave, and you stopped him dead with it. So he may have to try to reorganize his thoughts before he answers
Right.
that question.
Because what happens, the language, Jesus is an ancient South Semitic language, which is now Ethiopian and
He
Eritrean.
says
It
they
has
call themselves Beta Israel. Israel. This is
right,
the only information, sir. Thank you. So
right,
basically, you don't. Well, not you. The information that you are pulling from literally doesn't have the information that could help you. That's what you're basically saying.
right.
Right.
I mean, to make the distinction, you have to understand that the original writings, our writings of the Tanakh, were taken from Hebrews who wrote what is called the autographs. The Tanakh is just an acronym. It wasn't really called that. It was called the autographs, but no one has the original autographs. They were all destroyed. So the little that we have is in what's called the Tanakh. And you have to understand that the Jews rewrote our writings, but they're not the originator of our writings. We don't believe in tablets.
He did the right thing. He says, "No, I'm saying from my research. That's all."
Oh, okay. So I'm just giving you a little background, sir, that the Tanakh wasn't really, it's our writings, but it's revised also. Because the thing is, it wasn't called the Tanakh. That came later. Like there's no such thing as an Old Testament, because how could that be an Old Testament if the laws in there are still being used today? This is a name that was given to it. The same with our original writings with the
It
Tanakh.
compromised it to make it that
Right,
way. So,
right,
his first question, his first statement was true about the KJV portion. That
right,
was
definitely.
correct. Hmm.
But you have to look at it from that perspective, sir. A lot of our writings have been compromised. There are some things in there that may be true and it may be not true, but the basics is true as far as the instructions, as far as the laws and things that happen within that time period. But for Beta Israel to say that it's not true, and they don't consider themselves uh, Jews or Hebrews, I mean, they can't really make that distinction because they're not classifying themselves as anything.
Right.
If they're
You,
using the name Beta Israel, they must be Israelites.
right. The thing is, he gave a great statement that you can piggyback off of that and make a fine point, to fine tune that point to the fact that if the people of the book, the original book, are not supposed to really have all their stuff together because of, like I said earlier, abomination of desolation, been tampered with, compromised, etc., etc. Because the question about the Tanakh, right? When you were saying that
Right.
about Jews side of it, we have to not forget that the Tanakh, when it was named that by the Jewish, those that are not really true Israel to begin
Right.
with. Now,
Right.
that book might be a little more, I guess, closer to the truth than the regular KJV,
Right.
but that's not necessarily meaning that it's correct. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Because we
So,
have to realize that the writings were written pre-Khazarian, because the
mhm.
original Jews were Khazarian from they were Khazars from Khazaria, and that's in Europe somewhere. So the
Just say
writings,
that those that hijacked from a persuasion, obviously it goes all the way back to Babylon
right?
and the
Because
Babylonian, you would say most that left Babylon, some stayed,
right,
and obviously converted to the Babylonian ways.
which was Judaism, because the
Hmm.
Khazars were under the tutelage of King Bulan, Bulan, and there was
Hmm.
about some type of war was about to come. I can't remember exactly the whole story. and they had a choice to either become part of Judaism or Islam, and they chose Judaism. But the writings were always there, but they turned around, and even what's his name? What's the brother's name? Who has his own language? Gabaret.
Ravenous Bird.
Ravenous Bird. He even said, and it makes a lot of sense. If it wasn't for them, a lot of our information would have been lost.
Right.
So we have to give the Euro Jews some credit in keeping our information out there. But they did indeed take our, and I don't like to say hijack because I don't want to disrespect them. What they did do,
I'm gonna disrespect them. They hijacked, stole.
They took our information, they kind of distorted it
and twisted
it and made it
and flipped it.
Where they were the Israelites, but they call themselves Israelis. You would never find a Jew calling themselves an Israelite. They will say Israeli. Because
those people also forgot that after Babylon, it was also Persian persuasion too. You know, you got Persian Jews.
Can I add something as well to this?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? I have a book, right? From Arthur Kessler, The 13th Tribe.
I have.
Can I read an extract? Can I read an extract?
Book.
Go ahead.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Arthur Kessler, the 13th tribe. Okay. Now the thing is that regarding the Jewish-ish, the Hebrews they wish, right? People. It says here, rise. It says here on page 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says here. Okay, so I'll read it. A few years later, probably AD 740, the king, his court, and the military ruling class embraced the Jewish faith, and Judaism became the state religion of the Khazars, right? No doubt their contemporaries were as astonished by this decision as many scholars were when they came across the evidence in the Arab, Byzantine, Russian, and Hebrew sources. One of the most recent comments is to be found in the work by the Hungarian Marxist historian, Dr. Antal Barthia. His book on the Magyar Society in the 8th and 9th centuries has several chapters, right? It's gonna get juicy, right? Just bear with me. On the Khazars, during the most of that period, the Hungarians were ruled by them. Yet the conversation to Judaism is discussed in a single paragraph with obvious embarrassment. It reads, right? Our investigations cannot go into problems pertaining to the history of ideas, but we must call the reader's attention to the matter of the Khazars kingdom, state religion. It was the Jewish faith which became the official religion of the ruling strata of the society. Needless to say, the acceptance of the Jewish faith as the state religion of ethnically non-Jewish people could be the subject of interesting speculations, right? We shall, however, confine ourselves to the remark of this official conversation, but it goes further, right? The origins, right? And it basically says, right, that here it is, right? Here it says on page 17, right? Origins. So if so, this would mean that the ancestors came not from the Jordan, but from the Volga, not from Canaan, but from the Caucasus, once believed to be the cradle of the Aryan race, and that genetically they are more closely related to the Hun, Oghur, and Magyar tribes than to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This should turn out to be, turn out to be the case, right? Then the term anti-Semitic would become void. Bang. Sorry, right there.
That's all you got to do. Say the word hijack.
Right.
And at this point, hold on. At this point, we're at our 3-hour mark. We are maxing out.
Right.
Now,
I just want to answer Jeffrey Moore's question. Now, he was saying they are saying they're Jews. Now, I know your last question, Mr. Moore, said something about they're from the same line of Sheba. Now, if that's true, Sheba believed in the son Baalis. Okay. That was their chief object of worship. Now, I know Solomon taught her about Yahweh, but she was a sun worshiper. Now, you're saying that Beta Israel, getting to your next question, Beta Israel saying they were Jews. Well, you have to also understand that the Jewish belief system deals with Talmudic instructions that deals with looking at a book that has nothing to do with the Torah. That's a total separate belief from being a Hebrew. So, I mean, they're not really Hebrew Israelites. They're Jewish. That's conversion to Judaism. And Abraham was not a Jewish follower. So I hope this answers your question.
well, hold on. Let's don't go too deep in this. Let's welcome Jeffrey Moore to come back next week, and we can go further into details. We'll set up the show specifically to go from this base that we just started talking. We so close to the end of tonight that, and all of a sudden there's a lot of action. Get ready to get started. And we don't want to go too deep.
Right.
So let's call it a night. Let's give our shout outs and welcome Mr. Jeffrey Moore on board for next week.
Okay, Mr. Moore, you are cordially invited to come on our show next week, and if you want to get into a serious intellectual conversation concerning Beta Israel, I myself and the rest of the Hebrews that you see or hear on this page would definitely accommodate you as far as answering questions to the best of our knowledge. Also, keep in mind that we too will also ask you some questions. So,
All right. Brother Mad Scientist, want to say any last final words before we close out? I know you got a bunch of shows coming up.
Peace. As the best says this. You catch me on all the platforms. I got a couple of shows coming out. I'm gonna do the Black Agents. I got it was Moses, a Pedro Raz character. Cause that's what a lot of people try to claim. And I'm doing mental health. I gotta still do the mental health of Black community.
nice. That's
So
Interesting.
gotta stay tuned.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
okay.
Brother Car, let's hear it, brother.
Okay, as always, it was a pleasure. All the elders assembled like the Justice League to smash on some of these false idealistic program brothers and sisters, which I still got love for them, but they need to stop it. They need to stop all this programmation, which I know that ain't a real word, but they need to stop it, man. It's all love at the end of the day, but I can't stand the lies, man, and the falsehood, the false information. I can't stand it, man. If we want to grow as a nation, we need good elders like you, sirs, to lead the way and lead the charge. And that's coming straight from a area of concern and love. Much respect and so long.
All
right, brother Ben, from the man from the down under.
Hey, what can I say? I mean, I think pretty much all that I want to say has been said already. And like my beloved brother Alan says, Torah Rabbah to all our beautiful melanated, chocolate-colored family all around the world. And keep it strong. And just remember, there is no savior in a fake idol. Just remember that. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, these idolaters come in all shapes and sizes. They even look like us. They wear purple people eater, costumes. You know what I mean, right, and stuff like that, right? Don't make them any more righteous than you. So, you're here, and it's a good thing. You're searching for the truth. My beloved, beautiful family, I love you. May the Most High keep you and keep it true to the Most High. I'm out.
Mm-hmm. I gotta let you know when you came back with that Arthur Kessler book and that page, boy, that was like on the spot. DOA move.
Dynamite.
I like that.
Right.
You just pulled your sword out and said, mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Jeffrey Moore, I know you had a final saying which you stated. I'm going to say that for the next week's thought. Canaanites are the actual people which this comes from, what you stated last. And we'll leave on that note. And I'm going to say shalom for Smashing Idol. He was on and he departed. I guess he had to go through some things. He's always, helping us out. And say a shout out for other, what's his name? Your son, because he's DOA Yasin sometimes and he's something else the other time. Other than that, I'm just going to say my final shaloms.
I see everybody at church tomorrow.
You're psych.
Get out!
No Diddy.
Here. That's right. No Diddy in it. All right. Shalom.
What do you want? I'm gonna kill you, you bastard!
It's the Jup. All you see is crooks. Shout out to Havoc, good looking on the beat. Forever P. Street life was good. About to go in, son. Look, red bones and red bottoms. Like Red Bull, we gon' give them wings, we red dot them. Candy rappers, send them in, we red hot them. Headshot them, go against migraine, get head problems. Big dummy garbage rappers, we red fox em. Shoot an actor in high depth and red box em. Tip the scales in my favor, stay in your top 10. If life's like a triple beam, I'm weighing my options. Y'all like why meth, you high meth. Keep a big popper, cause I ain't ready to die yet. I digress, or I'm just too intense to digest. Stretched in a Pyrex, compliments to my chef. Game ain't been the same since I left. Is they really crooks or just a pain in my neck? Wu-Tang, ain't no lanes in my set. Fresh pair of Nike Airs, I just do it for my check. I'll be the first to tell these rappers, get your bars up. Shout to P, you know it's havoc when we mob up. I tell that smut, date over, pull your drawers up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up. Throw your squad up. Throw your squad up. Throw your squad up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up.
I swoop in, shooting like I'm paratrooping. We all in, we riding, we carpooling. My whole crew, we diving, we platooning. Salute me or shoot me, Huey P. Newton. Your buffoonery is quite amusing. This is not monkey business, stop cooning. It's a method to my madness, I know what I'm doing. There's a